I'm gonna call the order to the West Tampa Community Development Area Community Guidance Committee from June the 18th at 5:30 at the Hills Education Foundation, Tico Hall, 306 North College Avenue, Tampa, Florida, 33607. I'm gonna call the order and there. We get a roll call.
Hello. One, I'll do the roll call. And just say present or absent. Joe Robinson.
Here.
Carlos Ramirez.
Here.
Michael Brachia. Sandra Sanchez. Here. Janice Williams. Here. Bobby Wilson.
Here.
Jeanette LaRusso Fenton.
Here.
Cynthia Maloney. Here. Dean Baston. Delphine Jones. Tina Young. Here. Okay. Roll call is complete. Thank you. You have a forum.
Thank you. I just want to say, I have someone told me that this stuff you don't have a death in the family. So that's what it is. I don't know. With that said, I want to thank everyone. We're going to definitely get to this list of Jesus and these projects. We've got to have we leave it tonight. We must have a list of projects that we want to track from now on, and we're gonna have it some type of way. We got to identify that because some people are saying they're not quite included. We don't know where they are. You know, I know they don't have the trees on there, but the trees getting cut and so forth and so on. So we're gonna just make sure we get that. We should be out of here rather quickly. And so with that said, we have public comment. Anyone wants to make public comments, have 3 minutes. And just state your name and you got 3 minutes and do on mic. Somebody do have a mic up there for the public.
Good afternoon, everybody. Omar Garcia, 2111 North Albany, the cigar law projects. On May 28th of Sunday, approximately 6 p.m., we had a shooting directly in front of the new townhouses that we're building, right between, as Joe likes to call my blue light specialists. Everything caught on camera, complete drug wreck. The whole transaction started from people loitering at the Star grocery store. Okay. I don't know if you guys hadn't heard of that, but it happened. Okay. Shooting right there, all documented on my cameras. Okay. You need to keep the pressure on to stop the loitering at that Star grocery store and at the dead ends of Pine and that Fremont Linear Park. I received a little card about getting rid of the linear park. I wholeheartedly support that. We need to continue to make these streets through and prevent that loitering that's happening at those dead ends. That happens a lot at Walnut and at Pine and at the Star grocery store and the other grocery store. The one on Chestnut, the grocery store over there, I don't know what it is, but those owners seem to be on top of it, and I don't see the loitering there. But we need to stop the loitering. It's clear that it's drug related. They were moving to the alley as well. I personally moved one of my cameras over to the other cigar factory north of us to try and get a good view of that. Okay, but you know, if we want to try and get this crime down in this area, it starts with eliminating the drug trafficking happening on the corners. Okay, what I want to say, we don't need this needless thing to happen. It could have been somebody, one of the neighbors hanging out in the front yard, on the opposite side of the street could have gotten shot, or some bystander. It was ridiculous. It was a minor. And again, as we've seen with a lot of these shootings that have been happening in the area, they're usually minors, 15, 16 years old, okay? It's crazy, but we've got to get this thing stopped, okay? All my comments, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else?
Good evening, good evening. For the record, my name is Mark Anthony R. Little, MarkAnthony. R is Roosevelt, that's my middle name, last name is Little. Everybody calls me MA. I'm actually a local Tampa Bay artist, multidisciplinary. Served the community not only as a limousine owner for 14 years, but have recently gone to art full time. Some of my projects have led from the Port of Tampa, City of Tampa, with one actually right down the street over at Faulkner's Barbershop, the mural there. And I'll also be an event live artist for Boom at the Bay for Julie B. and Boom in the park. So I just wanted to let you know if there's any infrastructure outside or inside that any of your business need coming through your folks' work orders or how you fit and have projects to receive.
Don't go nowhere, Mr. Don't go nowhere.
Okay.
Mr. Little, I met Mr. Little a while back, because I do go to Foster's Barbershop. I was impressed with his artwork, and I know we, Ms. Sanchez, and all you guys were spurring and want this art in West Tampa, so I'm trying to find people that do art, painting, murals, because I've seen in St. Pete, they got a whole area of murals that can blend in, cover up some of these raggedy walls or blank walls down in alleys and all. And I do know that with Ray Park, that I'm very sensitive about that mural. Okay, we put it up there, West Tampa Revitalization Corporation, 1986. So I'm real sensitive about that building. It's not down in the building and it gets rebuilt. So I know that he's good. I watched him do that believe that he had down in Boston, Nebraska. And he also has a resume. So, Mrs. Brenda Brewer, could you please give us information and get him lined up with the city's art projects and make sure that he's on the list of any time we're looking for artists to do murals in West Tampa. And we heard that he's gonna be down in Boomer the Bay as a living artist. So I guess he'll be down there drawing something while everybody talking around. I don't know how that works, but I know that he also, when he did his art, he included the community. He used to be out there painting, so look, he goes over and gets the pictures here. Paint that right there, add that. So about everybody in the shop came and added a little something, and next thing you know, he had 20, 30 people that participated in the art. I thought that was very impressive. So I told you, anything about the CRA, anything about that, we do have funds for artwork, murals, etc. So I just wanted you to come down. And so if you don't know if Ms. B, you're in the house now, but Ms. Brewer, can you make sure that you get the man information and hook him up with the city of Tampa's artists, and not just us, but what's that lady's name, one of the artists? Bobby. Okay, Robbie now.
There's actually a form online for artists to sign up.
Okay, but if you could give us some help, I appreciate it, because you come to the area, and I just want to say it. And thank you for coming out.
Yeah, I appreciate
All right. Anyone else for 3 minutes? Anyone else in the audience? Seeing now, what about online? Does everyone online for 3 minutes?
Oh, yeah, this is Mike Randolph, West Tampa CDC. This is a follow-up to the last meeting when I talked about the community benefit agreement. Tonight, I just want to talk about the Pacific program. The program is called the West Tampa Virtual Connect Opportunity Dashboard. This particular dashboard is going to be online and it's going to be powered by artificial intelligence. There's going to be 2 data sets. One data set is all of the residents that live in West Tampa. The second data set is all of the businesses that are in West Tampa and connecting the 2 together. The first portal is going to deal with residents. Residents will be connected to local jobs. There's over 200 businesses that's in West Tampa that we can connect residents to. In addition to that, they're going to be able to connect to national as well as state jobs. Residents will also be able to connect it to soft skills, learning how to do resumes, how to do job interviews. All of this is going to be powered by artificial intelligence. Based on how artificial intelligence, they also are going to learn hard skills that leads to livable wages. On the entrepreneur side of the table, this is where we will be connecting residents and businesses together, especially those home-based businesses that we're going to connect to. We're hoping this will increase income among local businesses and also connect residents to quality businesses. The last element is residents will be able to rate the different types of businesses that are in West Tampa, so they can have a voice in terms of the quality of businesses that's in West Tampa. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Randolph. Is there anyone else online, Mr. Store? If not, okay, let's move on. Has everyone had a chance to take a look at the May 21st, 24 meeting minutes? If there a motion, I entertain a motion to approve it.
I have a question about the minutes, sir.
If you make a motion to discuss them, then we can have.
I'd like to move that we discuss the minutes of the last meeting.
Second.
Okay, Mrs. Mahoney.
Okay, I just wondered about under new business, item B, CRA property acquisition. I don't remember voting on it. That was at the very end of the meeting, and I would have voted not. So it would not be unanimous. If I did not vote for this, I'm sorry.
There was a motion, but
It was a motion, but I don't believe it was ever voted on. Does anyone else remember that?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay,
so are you saying you didn't vote on it, so I'll take,
yeah,
I can adjust that.
okay, that'd be great. It's not that I don't think it's, I just don't think that government should buy property. That's right.
All right.
Because it's for a public use,
And,
and public.
okay. The next,
And Miss Tina, I don't know if you noticed your name. I believe there was
Who's that?
under announcements.
Please come here.
Oh.
Under the event. Your name is not.
Yeah, that's what here.
Just a title, yeah. Other than that,
Okay.
any other comments or changes to the notes meeting? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. Minutes are approved as noted. Community police update. Do we have someone here from the Tampa Police Department? And if we do, sure like to get how we know start the lottery up on, Albany. That is the problem.
You said the lottery?
The lottery. Yeah, I mean, I know the owner has an issue. I know that they're in that public areas. That on the side, it goes to avoid his camera from that doing his girls and girl for 20, 30 years. And it's got to the point now where he has a major multi-million-dollar investment across the street.
Yeah.
He's going through to put blue light cameras so he can record some activities. But otherwise, I think that story is turning into an attraction. But anyway, go ahead and give your report, but maybe you can tell us what I'm doing about that particular location.
I can answer, yeah, I'll answer that question first.
Okay.
So normally when we have a situation where there's drug activity, if we send the police cars in there, everybody gonna scatter. So a lot of times we have to take what we call a long approach with those. And then unfortunately, you won't see results right away because we could put a police car there. We've done that, but that's just a short-term problem. As soon as that car leaves, it's gonna be back to, so we are working on that. It's just, you won't see a police car unless somebody requests to see a police car. But again, that won't solve the long-term issue. But we do have some investigations going on with that.
Let me ask you this, before you get started, is there some type of priority set when there's gunfire? I mean, it's one thing to have a burglary, or breaking on the car, breaking the house, but when there's gunfire. I mean, I noticed when they had that shootout down there in Soho.
Mhm.
It was jumping on everybody, man. Somebody got arrested real quick. A couple guys that just got it. It was like they just was all over the place because there was some shooting down there in Soho.
So remember when, so Soho's an entertainment district, so on Thursdays, Friday, and Saturday, if you drive through Soho, you're gonna see, there's gonna be cops already there, so that's, a lot of times if we have a shooting, Soho, Ybor, we're already there, that's why the response time is so quick. But that's, no matter what's going on, we have to have a certain amount of cops in that
And
area.
I'm not the most response time, because I don't think you're gonna ever be able to be right there. I'm just fortunate to work. But the follow-up investigation and conviction and getting somebody, you know, because I think a lot of times when people see this, you know, Willie Joe and Bobby Sue got picked up and got caught, that sort of deters people from trying themselves. You know, the best example of deterrence is somebody your friend going to get caught. So I just didn't know if it was a priority or not. How y'all do that?
Well, if there's a shooting, that's always gonna be number one priority over burglaries, all of that. That's always gonna be, if if we got reports of gunfire, that's number, we'll pull people off the call, but look at that. As far as, so I'll address the shooting, that we had at Albany and Pine. It's still open. We do have a suspect in that. I can't say too much about it, but, I think we did use your cameras that actually helped us recover the fire. So, yeah, so we do have that, and we do have a suspect. The parents really aren't cooperating with us, but we know who it is. It's just a matter of getting him and locating him. But that's really all I can say about it. It's still open. And as far as looking at the crime stats from, from May 18th to June 18th, the biggest problem I see is, I see some unlocked auto burglaries, and a lot of that might just be, one of them, they tried to steal the car, but they were unsuccessful. But, there were three of them, one on Beach Street, one on Carmen Street, and one on Chestnut, all unlocked vehicles. So just remember to keep the doors locked. If they're locked, 9 out of 10 times we're gonna keep moving unless they see something. If they really want to know, they'll break the window. And the other trend that I saw are construction burglaries. We've had 3 of them. One on Howard, one on Nassau, and one on Cherry. None of them are occupied houses. They were all under construction or renovation. And the problem with those, one of them occurred from like Friday to Monday, so it's kind of tough to figure out who's doing that unless they pawn some of the stuff, but a lot of stuff they say they can't pawn it, so they're just taking it and probably selling it on the street. And then the shooting was the other big thing, but that's the only trend that I've noticed for the last month, in West Tampa. Does anybody have any questions? So,
Are you seeing a little bit of an uptick now that we're in summertime, kids are out of school, and a lot of youth crime that you guys are seeing, or?
surprisingly not yet, but we haven't seen an uptick. We do have the Stay in Play Center on Oregon Open. We have that, so there was at least 20 kids there. So I think that's also helping, giving the kids something to do. But, the only thing we have seen since summer started, I think we dealt with it twice, at least on my side, when we've dealt with it twice, all of a sudden, we'll just have a pop-up, like party in the middle of the street. I think one was on Rome. But now that I think about it, I think they always coincide with the holiday, because I think one was Sunday and the other one was, either Memorial Day or close, or maybe the next day. But that's the only thing we've really been seeing, because once that happens, then we'll get noise complaints, and that's how we'll respond to the area. They usually break up, but there's been no violence, nothing. Everybody leaves peacefully. We haven't had no issues with everybody breaking up, but it's usually illegal parking and then loud music. So, but that's the only thing we've seen since the summer.
Last night there were about 4 police officers, cars right there in Columbus Court. Did you know what was going on?
Yes, I was listening to the radio. I believe that was a female that had ran away, and then she came back and started fighting with her mom. And then I believe she ran from the officers. They had to do like a runaway juvenile.
Okay, anything else? How are our cameras doing? We okay with cameras now?
Yes,
So, I mean, y'all don't need any more, y'all got the cars, got backup, if it's power go out.
Yep.
I think we done perfected that. There may be some more we might add down there, but let's just see how it's go.
okay.
So if anything that you need from us, I mean, because we're supposed to be working together with community policing, innovative policing. Is there
No.
anything that you, the CRA needs to do or think about innovative policing going forward?
Not on our end, I can, the other officer, Corporal Gig, Brandon normally comes, I can ask him, but as far as our district, the only thing I would ask everyone, I did see the flyer about opening the streets. Do you, now it's been closed as long as I've been here, so that's 15 years. I've never seen it. Oh, it's been closed since the
Right,
80s?
so that's when everybody was carjacking. So that was done to stop the carjacking, because they would check the cars and ride straight to the products and bail.
Okay, okay.
It was a bad
Wow.
situation, carjacking, and then came the crack
Yeah.
epidemic. And then it was like, that's it, enough is enough, shut it down. I don't know if, I know they were saying about closing Linden Park, we're gonna open the streets, but we still have some remnants of the park down there. It won't be linear, but it'll be, I think it still might be over a piece of the park.
Okay.
But opening up the streets, and then also the fire department, we've asked the TPD, they said there's no problem, so we went.
That's what I was gonna, that was my next one.
That was, I don't know if Ms. B had that, but what happened was, our understanding was that they didn't have an issue with TPD and the fire department didn't want, because they can't turn anything around.
Right.
So it came to issue because the house caught fire at the cul-de-sac. So at that point, we decided, okay, it's time now to ask the community.
Yep.
By this car. I guess they're doing it by park, because I got 6 of them, so I guess I'll go 6 times, but, I don't know, I'm right about that, but that's what that is. So we're trying, we want to get it done. And we have funding that we can marshal to do it and the communities, and you know, it's like anything else. Years back, closed it. Now, everybody wants street grids, everybody wants welcome the community, back to the communities. It started that area down there on that, Linear Park, it's always been a drug haven, it's a good place to hide, and y'all, it's been a couple of murders down there, and I know all about them. So, you know, if we open it up, maybe that'll, shut it down because the neighborhood's changing. So that's why I do that, sorry.
And I know it definitely will help with the loitering, because that's always been an issue that we've dealt with, the loitering over there, and they know we can't drive through. And a lot of times the dirt bikes will use that, because they know we can't, drive through, so,
Okay.
I think we will be forward, so.
Anything else in those committee members? If not, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving right along to, code enforcement. Is someone here from code enforcement, Mrs. Thrower? Well, is that the third time?
Well, yeah, and I asked them for a report, and I did get the staff review, but I was on route here, so I'll send y'all the report to like a little written something.
But that was.
That I know they're supposed to come quarterly, and that was my mistake. I thought they came monthly, so, but I think we're due.
Quarterly, okay, that's right, okay, quarterly.
So I'll make sure I'm gonna report your report, and I'll come next month.
Okay.
So,
All right, there we go. Special presentations. We have a very special person here. The infamous, notorious B. Hart. B. Hart. Now, we went all the way from communications and got a new title now. I don't even know how to spell the word. But if you let us know your new title, and she's gonna talk to us about housing programs, I guess. And she done did community, she's out there doing like communications, she's out there this proper thing with all the flyers. It's big part, congratulations, welcome to here. It's your show, you talk as long as you want.
Yes, so the parts, my official title is CRA Community Development Coordinator. And I oversee all of the CRA housing programs, CRA only, okay? So though Housing and Community Development Division, I can't tell you what's going on with certain things. I can tell you what's happening in our CRA world and what we're proposing and how we're gonna work together and accomplish this, okay? So, I'm sure everyone tuned in February to the housing strategies meeting that came on. Nicole and her team, conducted, and of course, everyone participated last year in the individual CAC, workshops that we had to kind of just get with you guys and explore options and see what the needs of the community are. And then here comes fast forward to assigning our own dedicated team, which is myself and two other members right now. We're housed in Housing and Community Development Division in Hannah on the second floor. And my door is always open. So I'm housed there currently in the housing department. And, it's been going great since October, since April 29th. So I'm coming to talk about several things. I broke this up in a couple of parts. Part one is going to go over policy and program updates, as we all know. And then part two is going to go into a little bit more of the detail and kind of provide transparency to you all here about the process, that it's going to take to get these clients through the different, programs. So part one. We all know we updated at the Tampa CRA, our CRA focus areas. And you know, the hot topic is attainable housing, affordable housing, workforce housing, same thing, just worded differently. And of course, you've seen this before, it's our real focus areas, attainable housing, as you know, aligns with that to close the home ownership gap for 80% AMI and below through collaboration, to retain existing residents by providing resources support for current home repairs, maintenance, and accessibility options. And of course, to support the creation of housing options that stabilize communities. So this is what I've been tasked to help with. So of course, I just mentioned this implementation time. As you see, this has been a long time in the making, but full steam ahead. We have some practices, some systems in place that's gonna move this along. So it started around the budget approval of the 30% back in 22-23, all the way down to a proposed date of August 1st to kick off the rehab and down payment assistance programs for the CRA, okay? And these programs have been happening. You know, there has been down payment in certain areas, there has been rehab in certain areas, and I know for a fact, we did a couple of residentials in West Tampa, so we've been doing this, so now it's just pushing the gas forward and doing more. So, it comes down to the second bullet, June 2023. We did, just like I mentioned, the CRA board retreat, and then we met with each individual CAC housing to talk about housing. Then in July, there was an extensive housing audit to start. We kind of just looked at everything and then got with the housing team. When the housing team implemented the extensive housing implementation audit, that happened within that time. In February, the city and the CRA housing implementation plan alignment came in more details. In this time, I was prepping to come into this position. So here comes April 2024, when now we have the housing team established with myself. And like I said, two individual positions that I'm still hiring for, meaning that I have some fillers out there. I got a list back. I scrubbed the list. I contacted people, you know, I had to recertify because people got jobs and some people don't want to work, so it is what it is. So here, I mean, they just want to live there, take their summer off, I guess. So from June 7th, and of course, I don't know if everyone tuned in this past Thursday, where we briefly just kind of had this presentation to the CRA board about the housing update and consolidation of the programs. And then from now on to the month of July, the communication strategy to disseminate this information and programs available and to secure the locations where we're going to start processing applications. For a start date of August 1st. I'm going to spend this month. So Tampa CRA has been implemented CRA district specific housing programs like I said, currently, the Tampa CRA will fully align with HCD's policies and programs for expedited delivery. That doesn't mean that it's gonna be boggled down. We're just using their systems in place. How to process application, the software they use, the inspection process that they have. We all have these systems with collaboration with other departments. It has been working.
Do you want us to ask questions as you go along or wait to the end?
Can I say name will Tampa CRA will expand housing programs in all districts? Any questions?
I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit more about how the two, we have housing and community development with their housing programs, and then we have the CRA funded housing programs. I'm a little fuzzy on how do the two coexist or integrate, or how's that gonna work?
Okay, so I'm going to go for, can I answer you after I finish the presentation?
Yes, yes.
And then I can go into detail on how it's working. I just want to bring some past history information so we can kind of understand that. So again, February 29th, K9, Nicole, and them went in front of everyone and provided their program areas for city housing priorities. We only could support the last two, which is support for direct homeowners and support for creation and preservation of affordable housing. Because as you know, how our money is created to oversee, it has to affect actual brick and mortar locations. So these two will have to support that, okay? So one of the program areas, just like I mentioned, support for homeowners, right here, I just put in their information from their sides, just to kind of get a whole funding, perspective. And as you can see, we have $11 million in the game for preservation across all CRAs for housing rehab and renovation program and down payment assistance. And I'm going into detail about the housing rehab and renovation program. So the second program area that we can assist in as a CRA is the creation and preservation of units. So this is where these three aligned strategic plans come in action. The infill housing program, the unit creation and conversion program, and then strategic acquisition, acquire land. As we know, if we have the land, we can call the shots. You see right there is $29 million worth of dollars from the CRA side across the board, all of the districts. So this is where, what aligned? What did we put together? What happened? So these are the CRA programs on the left-hand side. So we, in the past, had the emergency roof repair grant, which is East Tampa's. The emergency tree trimming grant, which was also East Tampa's work. So those, right now, those are being consolidated. Of course, we have owner occupied rehab grant, residential improvement grant, residential exterior improvement grant, residential rental rehabilitation grant, and upstairs residential conversion grant. West Tampa is familiar with those 4, 5, 6, 7, because that was in our wheelhouse over here. So those are now consolidated into what we call the housing rehab and renovation program, which will cover all of those repairs. External, internal repairs to homeowners, which will also include tree trimming. So the tree trimming, any tree services that client will need will be included in that new housing rehab and renovation program, which again falls into the program priorities for support for homeowners. So those cover all 7 of those grants into one grant. Okay, so the second part of that is the down payment assistance. This has actually been the most successful in East Tampa. We spent some dollars in this from the CRA side. Guess what? It's coming to the West Tampa side now. So again, down payment assistance is one of the program priorities for support for homeowners.
One question, I think I'll get into details with the down payment program. East Tampa is different from West Tampa as far as like, we had that whole conversation about like the level of what can we, because we need to have a higher level. Well, our purchase prices are higher, but then we have to like we were very generous in our down payment, more so than the same.
Okay.
So with that
Well,
flexibility,
yeah.
with that flexibility,
No. So we're gonna talk about that because we did some changes to make sure that everyone could have a fair shot to get down payments. So let me finish, just hold that thought and let me finish it, okay? Because I'm going to explain that coming up. So the other three initiatives, for that will be the housing infill, unit creation, strategic acquisition, when again, will roll into creation and preservation. So our programs will sunset. I'm completing all the applications that are currently in the queue. So tree trimming is being serviced now, that's over 140 people that was on their list, so that's being, serviced. And then emergency roof repair, the last bit of plans that I have, I'm servicing those in the old, way, our previous project. And then this effort is to increase impact and improve implementation to address the need. So let's go into a couple of details, and I'm gonna hit your stuff on it, okay? So the communication strategy for this. Update the CACs on the strategies and get feedback from the CACs. This is in process, the website is being updated in process, and the public platforms that the city touches will be updated to reflect these new programs. We're gonna host informational sessions, but also processing sessions. So we're not just gonna tell people to go to a link and fill out an application, we're gonna help them fill out that application. So this is gonna help the most, affected community, that is our senior community. Basically, we're gonna fill out the application for them, scan all the information in, and then provide them back with their documents, so everything will be done electronically, and that's what we're gonna do in different locations. So it's not only gonna be one location that a client can come to, we're gonna set up shop geographically in different locations to help everyone apply for this funding. Of course, we're going to monitor this closely because we have to start seeing what applications are coming in and where it's needed. For example, there are some areas that we see the blight, we see the slum conditions of the current housing stock. So we're going to move forward and try to creatively, target those areas to provide them that information. Then advertise requests for applications for, any small business developer or big scale developers can come in to help with affordable housing development and spend funds. And of course, we're going to provide quarterly progress reports to the board, but monthly to the CAC, and have these posted as well. So that's the dissemination of the programs so far. So the motion that we asked the CRA board to make was to sunset all existing CRA housing programs, and complete applications, which is what I'm currently doing. And then adopt alignment with ACD programs as presented, as I mentioned, the strategy February 29th. Expand all programs to all CRA districts starting August 1st. And then provide quarterly implementation reports starting fiscal year 25 publicly. So Q1, Q2, Q3, and then Q4. Transparency. All right, so let's just go into the details now. So I just wanted to kind of provide a snapshot of FY24 of what we've done so far for CRA. So for down payment assistance, we've provided down payment assistance for 63 homes. That's not even finishing out a year yet, because we have lots in the pipeline, but $1.8 million went for that. Our owner occupied rehab program, assisted 14 in progress, and that's 401 that was expended for that again, but this was specifically in East Tampa. And then strategic land acquisition, 5 parcels that we've already had in our possession for attainable housing. Again, we are now collaborating with all city departments that have to be at the table to look at this land and basically see, and tell us, hey, what could be built here? So we can then, bid it out. The emergency roof repair program, 87 roofs repaired, $1.174 million went for that. So this is a snapshot so far of what housing has done. Okay, so let's move forward with the housing rehab and renovation program. So, the new housing, rehabilitation and renovation program, which we're calling HRRP, will cover both interior and exterior repairs to residential homes. Some eligible repairs include, this is not all of them, I just wanted to give you an example of what was already in our grants, including housing as well. Roof, electrical, plumbing, water heater replacement, accessibility improvements, lead-based remediation or other environmental issues, tree trimming. All of these clients will get an environmental review anyway, based off of the date of the home. So by law, we have to do that on the housing side and the HUD quality standard side, so we're keeping that the same. And then we're just making sure that we're repairing homes up to code. Eligibility requirements. So the property must be located within the city of Tampa limits. For CRA applicants, they must live within a CRA district, of course. Household income cannot exceed 140% of area median income. And then property must be current on property taxes and mortgage payments. We will look at situations. For example, if there's homeowners who have their payment plan, you can obviously see that it's public record, you can see it online, what they paid so far. If I'm seeing that that's within the year and they're just splitting up their payments, we'll make exceptions. We're not trying to create barriers. We're trying to get things done. So we'll make those exceptions. So housing rehab and renovation application timeline. So new HRRP applications will be accepted via Neighborly, and again, we're helping them with this platform. Paper applications also available for them to fill out, but again, we're translating that information into Neighborly where we keep the client management system and upload all the documents there. So the application timeline right now is 30 days from the timeframe of application to approval with the contractor already on the project. So it's less than that, but this is the time that we give for chunks of people. So this is not per client. This is just per processing list, which is, I can explain that. So program awareness and communications will be sent to the community. Applications will be collected. Applications will be processed, and then notifications will be sent to the clients, letting them know who their contractor is. And then we have communications with the contractors through the purchasing department, through their job order and contracting system, which.
Okay,
Yes.
question. Like under, can't go back again, right here on the building. Do we, it's not listed here, but do we include heirs properties? Are they?
Yes, we can include that,
Okay,
yes.
because we do have a lot of heirs properties here where we have joint ownership.
Mhm.
And if you go forward one,
We will have to make sure, and I want to just be transparent, that they will have to be on those documents. So we can't help with probate situations. So they will already have to have that probated or them on the documents. Showing like if the deed now changes to their name or the estate of, but they're also the estate of Joyce Myers, Kenneth Myers, they have to be listed on those docs. So I can go through the client individually about that.
yeah.
But I just want to make it clear, CRA, we cannot access in like any probate matters.
I got you on that. Well, I think, but, well, that's.
It gets tricky. That's why I said the conversation we can have for another
I know other CRAs have held
workshops. Yes,
That's
yes,
different.
Yes,
That's different.
that's a different topic. And thank you for bringing that up because part of the informational sessions are getting partnerships with the tax collector, property appraiser, being on site to also help clients out as well. So it's like an info/processing type of event.
But with this question, you said something about the contractors. Are we?
Not choosing, you want me to talk about the contract?
Are we selecting the contractors for the
No.
applicants or they, because you had mentioned like, okay.
Yeah, so let me explain the contract. Good question, Bobby. Let me explain the contractor. The contractors are going through the city of Tampa's job program. Have you heard of the job ordering contract program that the city has? Has anyone heard about that? Ms. Sanchez, you heard it? Okay, so that's the 2 RFPs that the city put out last year, looking for contractors to work on their city projects. So this was passed to bring in larger contractors that are able to sub it out, but they have enough feasibility to maintain these projects. So that is the selected pool that once, when we go through the process, once the client applies through Neighborly and they create an account, documentation will be reviewed. That's what we're gonna do in housing, 10-day review. I wanted to give you guys specifics on how these people will be processed. Number 3, inspection is scheduled. That's when myself or a representative, my staff person, will go out to the site along with a representative of Gordian, which oversees the job program, and the assigned contractor to that project will do a scope of services walk on site.
That piece that's tripping me up, you say assign.
Yes, through the job system. So-
So if I'm applying, I go through the application, are you assigning me a contractor or am I selecting a contractor out of the pool?
Of the pool, so the homeowner is not selecting or anything, it's gonna be, these are the job lists, you send it to the contractor and us will then set up the appointments to go to meet with the homeowner to go through the scope of services. So to answer your question, the homeowner or the applicant is not selecting their contractor. It's gonna come from the city of Tampa approved contractor. Now, I will tell you this, now I will say this, Bobby.
No.
No, because I see, I'm just telling
I'm
you, things,
processing.
guys, yeah,
No, I'm processing. Some people will like that, some people won't.
yeah.
And some people won't, like, hey, I have my own contract I want to use. Can we accommodate that if they have to go through the approval process?
And talk to me, because I'm gonna say I can't.
It's like you make the toilet cost.
Well, let me just say this, okay?
No, but then to back you up, Gordian goes off of the job, the construction handbook. So their price, they're not price, Gordian is our person to make sure that the contractors are not inflating costs. Because we're going across the construction tax.
Let me just say this, okay? I like what you're talking about, because it's gonna cut this fraud out. Okay, there's a lot of fraud going on in this housing stuff, public corruption. Okay, now you wanna go around and play this game, you get your contract, and you kick me back because I'm gonna sign the papers and you bring me some money. That ain't happening with this job program. There's a lot of that going on. Okay, then you had contractors that weren't qualified, slash land contract going out there doing stuff, the roof's still leaking. The work was inequality. But now the city's gonna take that liability on by trying to qualify these contractors and monitor them. But you start letting people bring your own people in, it's gonna be corrupt and it's gonna go back to where it was. But that ain't, I'm not worried about that. My thing is, I got some questions on, see when you get done, because are you gonna hit the room rehab?
Oh, that's part of, so the rental rehab is part of this.
It can be, because rental rehab, I don't stay in the rental, I own the rental.
Yeah,
That it says homeowners.
okay, so
That's
that's,
homeowner in a homeowner in a rental rehab, homeowner is a investment property owner.
yeah, so then you're correct.
And then there's a
It's a property.
application.
It's a
And if I'm an investor, you worry about my HMI. Okay, so what I'm saying is that is gotta be two separate applications and two separate processes. In addition, I know that the city has recently put an RFP out to hire architect engineering firms to do up to $750,000 of design on the front end. Because a lot of people couldn't get architect is somebody to do it. There's no more facade, it's just called all this, okay? To do that work. You gotta have some professionals, like when we had people over here trying to do a simple garden, they never got started, because they didn't have no professionals, and they were arguing about, we gotta put the money up, we ain't got no money to put up. So this, I don't know if you know that, they put out all, they called me up, I told them I ain't doing that, I don't do that, I don't mess with houses. But they asked my firm, I said, I'm not doing that, so they're gonna have some people, and then we also, they got a program, also a program where y'all pay, what is it called? Not tree development fee, what is it?
It is.
Tree development fee. All right, so now those funds are now allowable to be, funded by CRA, correct?
Correct.
Which did not exist before. So this is gonna make it a lot easier for a person that owns property. Now, the question I have, because this is housing. Okay, I know you got some more up there, but I'm just get right to the, here, to the chase. I have followed and I'm very aware of the commercial rents policy. I got it right here. Is there gonna be a policy like this for housing?
Yeah, we're aligning with ACD's policy, so.
Well, I is one thing, a piece of paper is another. Okay, is there gonna be a written, this says written commercial grants policy? There needs to be a written housing grants policy that deals with CRA, aligning and talking. This is gonna create a ball of confusion if it's not a written policy like this commercial grants policy.
Okay.
That's my feedback, okay? You got to have a commercial grants policy because you got a separate funding source called CRA.
Yes.
And CRA is different. Yes, we do certain features, but the CRA should have a separate CRA housing grants policy like this 100 and some pages here. Getting to my questions, okay, I had down here about, is it rural rehab? Then here's another one. You're on property of the houses. They're in CI zone. So can I apply for commercial grants policy and to fix up a house? Or do I have to go to this housing nonsense?
Okay.
See, like to me, I should be able to go to commercial grant because it's commercial property, not by the, it's in a CI zone. That's the highest intensity. You hear me, Mr. Brazil?
Yeah, and there's a huge.
And so what I'm saying, I'm gonna get you, because I know you're into this and I'm into this. I wanna know that if you have a house sitting in a commercial zone, CI zoning, it should be able to go through the commercial grants policy.
So,
If it's housing.
yeah,
Even though it's a house that's being rented, it could be turned into some business, but it's the zoning, it's commercial.
yes.
It's not.
So I think they probably have an easy, I think they probably have an easy answer for that.
Use the mic.
Oh, and that is that lately, they haven't been enforcing it, but lately the city has been really, really up on this change of use. Even though property's been commercial and zoned commercial, suddenly they're handing out code enforcement violations because they're operating outside of the approved use.
Yes.
Even though there was no use change required 15 years ago, they're now saying, well, it should have been required. And so they're forcing a lot of folks to go through that change of use. So brings up an interesting question. You could say, well, the use is not commercial, therefore you can't have the commercial policy or, the commercial grants policy. That's fine. But then it brings up a thought. Well, what if I'm taking a commercially zoned property and I want to use this money to meet the criteria to turn it into a commercial policy? Where do I fall then?
Okay.
And that's,
Well, what I'm saying is, like I said, there is a use that's commercial called renting housing.
Correct.
Okay, so renting housing is a commercial use. Let's get that straight. Home ownership is different. That's a home ownership housing program. Okay, but when you're renting housing, that's commercial use. Okay, that's commercial use. Okay, that's commercial use. So my thing is that I don't have any problem with the grant because and then the other thing is, in this program, it has a legacy status. Y'all got any legacy gonna be for the housing if a person own their home for 20 years?
But that's more so, no.
Because there's no match with that.
No,
There's no match with that.
no.
Y'all just gonna put a lien on there to secure.
Correct,
And then after so many years, it gets dissolved.
correct.
That's so you don't run away and set somebody else. Okay, so on the legacy, if you own it for 20 years, you're gonna put zero match.
Correct.
So it's a true grant. Ain't no loans, ain't no mortgage is a grant. This is a grant, right?
This is actually gonna be a deferred loan,
Okay, it's a loan.
okay?
That's
So
right.
at this point, it's gonna be a deferred loan.
And this is a grant, this is a grant.
That's a grant. And to my knowledge, there's going to be a covenant restriction with that, but I'm not gonna speak to the commercial side
No,
because I
it's already been
But,
approved. It's been approved with the doctor, but I thought, you see, when we did our budget, I said that I want to get from the housing. And I want the housing that they come to us and say, we've already had a commercial, we're developing a housing grant. It's not a grant, see, that's what it is, it's not a grant program,
correct.
it's a housing loan program.
Program.
But there still should be some type of policy for the CRA because of CRA dollars.
I hear you, so I'm gonna take that back.
Okay, and I see now why y'all.
And then I
Okay.
will, yes.
Okay, and so we have had very little on the west side, rehabs,
Mhm.
roofs replaced, anything, because we programmed people, last week, we had the highest reprogrammed of dollars, 2 point some million. Was reprogrammed into this housing, and into these programs that they consolidate. Out of all the salaries, I got it right here, I put it out, I brought it with me, we reprogrammed 2 point some million to align ourselves with this new approach to grants and
So,
housing.
well, I was trying to answer the one point that the tenants can apply for this program. And the tenant's income will be what is used to qualify. There's a liability form that the landlord will sign saying that they're not going to.
Oh, you said, you gotta have.
That person.
Rent now.
So that's what I was trying to say, will fit the 140% AMI. And the max, let me go, let me just
So
say,
the tenant would have to fill out the application.
correct,
Got
but the property owner will still be,
it. I got it.
just the majority, because 80% of what we're gonna be working with is homeowners, so that's why the homeowner word is there.
Okay.
But the documents and everything else states homeowner or property.
Yeah, I can see that was very
Okay.
misleading, calling that homeowners, and I'm saying,
It's just
Now
like
you-
this presentation.
I know, but what is that's why it should be a policy. Say homeowner/property owner, because the property owner can allow the tenant
Yes,
to
yes.
fly, because they got the AMI, not the property.
Correct, and they also are gonna, that also preserves the affordability, because that person will stay in that rental for as long as they possibly can.
So that raises like three more questions. If you're check, I'm assuming, I can't see the little words, but I can see the documentation. I'm assuming there's gonna be like a title search done. How else are you gonna know if they even have a mortgage?
Yes,
So now you're doing a title search, to make sure someone's paying their bills.
yes,
But if a renter's applying and you're doing a title search on the owner's property to see if he's paying his mortgage or she's paying her mortgage, and
but we also, okay, so let me get through. The documentation part is them filling out an application where they bring in that mortgage information.
I understand,
So-
if they say they don't have a mortgage, you do a title search. on
We
the
still,
city.
yes, we do, okay, to make sure that that mortgage that is on that property is going to be current.
So, and then this
It's
becomes a
actually-
loan and not a grant, so.
It's a loan,
So a renter is going to apply for this in this situation, let's say. And then a lien is gonna be placed on an owner's property for work that's done.
correct.
So does that lien get subordinated?
Subordinated from.
So let's say,
First,
It's gonna be.
Yeah.
So
so,
for
so
example,
let's say there is no mortgage. And then they do this grant and they
Yes.
put the loan on the prop, and then they have this on the property. And then they wanna go to their bank because something came up, their daughter's getting married, who knows what's gonna happen.
right,
They gotta get money out. How can they get money out with lien? Because they're gonna do a title search. Will this then be subordinated behind the first mortgage, that which will be regarded, because no bank's gonna give them a second.
Yes.
mortgage.
yes,
yeah.
yes,
That's a process.
yes.
It is, that's, it's a process.
Yeah,
But
That's-
Sorry, I just need to get through, if I can.
Okay.
We'll get through
The
that.
one
The reason-
of the documentation, because that's only gonna be.
That's the one reason we need this written CRA special deal policy.
No, that,
You
so
understand?
we have, so this is what's going on presently. ACD is including CRA and all of the
But I
policies.
still think that we need to know what aspects of these housing is CRA driven. There's certain things that CRA, but we actually, because we don't try to, we.
About, you know, making sure that is written. I know I'm including that into their policies and procedure. So the three main areas that affect me as it relates to aligning to them is including the renaming it housing rehab and renovation, because it's including rental, which is what they're not doing. That's very specific.
Correct.
So that's what aligns with
So you
that.
still doing that, that has to be found out.
Yes, no,
All right,
because we're.
all right, so I thought you bring us a final product.
Yeah.
So
No,
you,
no, I'm bringing out a presentation and then I will forward
Well,
that
see,
final
right,
product
so with-
that I'm still gonna open up shop on first.
Fine. So the board approved that.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna go in front of the.
And what you're coming up with is gonna end up going to Surrey board.
July 25th. Yes,
All right,
July 25th for a kickoff start off of August 1st. I don't wanna move August 1st because everyone needs assistance. I don't wanna prolong it to October 1st. I'm trying to spend some money in this fiscal
Right.
year.
people are asking us, and we were told that y'all program, they can keep applying using it. They were told no programs could be applying using it. Now that the board just eradicated all programs last Thursday. So now if a person right now want to make an application, get in front of it, to get in front of this, can they make it now or no?
No.
So nobody's taking application until August first.
Commercial is taking application, the commercial finance of the,
But I mean, on this part,
no,
no housing.
no.
So everybody gonna start out, so when there's something that was hanging around from the previous programs.
Well, that's tree trimming, that doesn't apply to West Tampa's budget, but tree trimming and emergency roof repair that came from East Tampa, I'm finishing up that
And then
too.
after that's finished, then they
It's
have to
done.
all come through this.
No.
Okay.
Got it.
No new
Okay,
application.
fine.
Okay, it's not a queue, it's not a waiting list, there's no new applications. And everything, everything goes smooth, I add items here. July 25th, we go in front of the CRA board and then they approve it, so then we can start August 1st. Okay? So, all that title search business happens on number 2. Documentations are reviewed, we pull all that information, clear files, updated, everything like that. Closing is scheduled, closing will include homeowner, contractor, representative from, CRA, and then, of course, as you know, the homeowner or property owner is advised of a 3-day rescission program, a period for rehab only. That doesn't apply for buying or house. Repairs are started and completed, and then, contract begins repairs on property, periodic, site visits are completed by the CRA, and then a final inspection is completed, homeowner or property owner is given a client survey to ensure that repairs are done to their satisfaction. That is being done. So down payment assistance, this is where I'm getting excited about, okay? I want a little bit more excitement. So keep there, I'm sorry. So down payment assistance program. It's called Dare to Own the Dream. Will offer down payment assistance loans to income eligible home buyers within the city of Tampa limits. The city of Tampa is Dare to Own the Dream, will provide up to $50K to assist income eligible first time home buyers to achieve the dream of home ownership. So here goes some eligibility requirements. The potential buyer must begin the process at one of the approved housing counseling agencies, which I will be providing those for. Those housing counseling agencies is the individuals who do the bulk of the work with that client. What does that mean? They look at credit, they look at income, they pull all the asset and income verifications, they package it up very nice, they look at debt to income ratios They make sure they at least have $2,000 of investment. They make sure that they're under 140% AMI, and then they give them, at that point, an approved loan officer and real estate agent to work with if they don't have one already. Some people come into this process starting with a realtor or a loan officer because they jumped the gun, and then they realize, oh, wow, I need money to move in. So that will be the eligibility requirement. So moving to the second part of this, these are the two big changes below. I'm gonna go through the categories, but let me tell you the changes. The changes are, there's no purchase price. No maximum purchase price. If that home-owned buyer is under 140% AMI and qualifies to buy that house, we can give them down payment assistance. So those barriers are gone. Before, I don't know if you remember, when we started talking about down payment at West Tampa, 350 to whatever, 229, 350 was that max down payment, purchase, price that it had to be under. Correct. So now by changing it to no purchase price, as long as that buyer can qualify for that mortgage and stay under the debt to income ratio of 50%, then we can give them down payment assistance based off of their income. So you're looking at the lowest category there, 50 to 60, the 50K. Then you're moving down to 40 to 60 to 80% AMI. Then you're looking at 30K of assistance if they're within the 80 to 120, and then you're looking at $20,000 worth of assistance if that buyer is between 120 and 140% AMI. So the major parts of this to, number one, create affordability for that, said, unit will be, like, let's say if we go ahead and develop it and we have now these restrictions on this project that we're putting together, that could ensure that if that client sells it to someone else, that they'll sell it for someone that is also income qualified. So we have a covenant restriction that has that, and that's currently been done. Okay? So again, making sure that when they sell that specific house, it could be whatever house, when they sell that specific house, in order to get our money, we're ensuring that there's affordability still for 30 years in that property.
Does that adjust,
What's the 20-year loan terms? Is it
So-
this loan? Is this program also
This
considered a loan?
Yes, so this one, all of the programs that we're gonna be having at the housing side is considered to be a deferred 0% interest loan. That is doable if the client refinances, sells the house, or transfers the house out of their name somehow, some way. That's when we need our money back.
So but the 20-year loan term, is that based on a loan that they're getting to purchase the house, or is it related to this loan?
This loan, our money.
This.
20 year is based off of our money.
And, okay, so based off your, and the 30-year affordability, so that just lingers beyond the 20-year.
Yes, to just give it more of a picture that unit is affordable. So we look at units, for example, if, I have a house that's,
but let's pull that one a little bit, so like that affordability period. So say someone buys a home in West Tampa for like 400K. So what does that mean for the homeowner? Like it said they want to sell it within 15 years. They bought it for 400, they can only sell it for 400?
no, so they can sell it for whatever they want, they just have to ensure that.
It goes to
Pay
some,
us money, pay our money back, that we.
but
The same amount or reduced amount?
So that's where the city will be creative, meaning at that point, right now, currently what ACD does is they do look at how long someone's been living there and give them options. They haven't had to do that because we haven't dealt with anyone that, besides them selling or refinancing, we haven't dealt with, we're now coming up to 20-year term being released. And individuals are asking, hey, about any affordability issues or anything like that. We haven't had any issues present day with that term.
So like, I'm looking at the 50% AML category. And, I bought the house for like 400K. And like, I lived in it for, say, 15 years, I'm about to sell. Do I have to sell it to someone in that same AMI category?
You have to sell it to someone that's under 140% AMI, whatever that will be at year 15. We don't know what income limit is 140. No, you don't have to sell it at the same income limit. You just have to sell it under the income limit, which is 140% AMI, which is right here. So right here. So for example, if 140% of the 1% household right now is 93,000 a year. It goes by income size as well.
Like, yeah. Yeah. That's 115. But then like 20 years later, say this doesn't change.
No, it will change.
I mean, no, that's like, this is for my math, this is for my math, this is for math. And then I'm like, one sell it, there's a couple,
Mhm.
you know, and so it's a 2-person household, then their income cannot exceed basically 90,000
At that point,
at that point.
correct.
Which they couldn't afford it anyway when you buy it.
I mean, they could have, but no, it's like the limiting,
Upside.
I'm thinking is limiting the wealth.
Yes.
One of the things we want to do is like create wealth, generate wealth. So you're somewhat limiting the person who's invested, build that equity in it, and you capping their equity to cash out. I understand we want to maintain,
But
like,
yeah.
it's almost that dual,
because we have to make.
that dual,
We're
like,
fighting it.
yes. But so if we're going out, was it 30 years? Or like, that's to me to be a little bit on the high side.
Well, okay, so let's bring it from a perspective, let's bring it from a different perspective.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm thinking like, yeah, that's a little bit.
These program amounts in terms, are they from the city side? Or were they developed from the CRA side?
There were for both, because we looked at all of it. So we
Because,
looked
you know,
at,
to me, 20-year long term is too long. I think after 10 years, the people should be able to do what they want.
yeah,
And the 30-year affordability, I
I'm
just
just
don't,
saying,
you know,
10 years is long enough, the whole.
if it's longer than the 20-year, you can put a lien on it, but there's no penalty. And if someone could sell their house for 200,000 more, or put it back and keep it in this affordability program and take less money just so they don't have to pay back whatever percentage of 50 grand, they're gonna take the 200 grand. And then you're out of your affordability anyway.
well, there's no ways of permanent, there's not a permanent solution. We're just trying to give the options of saying, hey, how could we create it for a long term to the user that's gonna have it? Because again, not everyone's gonna be using this product. People that are able to afford to purchase a home, they're gonna afford just their regular down payment. These are for individuals who are looking for long-term stability. Yes, you do run into a situation that, and I can speak freely about this because it did happen to clients who purchased with the city in infill phase 1. For example, when they went to go refinance, not only did they have their first mortgage and the second mortgage, they had a third lien from the CRA. So it was their first regular mortgage, their second city of Tampa money, and then it was the CRA money. So in that sense, at that time, he could have refinanced and just paid what he owed on the city, both the city side, and still made a profit because the market supported it. So either way, you have that option of what we're trying to do is create affordability for the long run. So we're trying to say that ahead of time. So I get, that's what it is, attainable housing.
I think that time frame is a little too long.
20 years is like,
Oh, yeah.
I think that if a person gets a down payment assistance or whatever you're gonna give them, 10 years, or if you're gonna go 20, it's gotta be prorated.
Okay,
Here's
Like the legacy status is prorated.
okay.
I'm just suggesting that you rethink that 20 appropriated, that's a long time.
Okay.
And what
So
happens,
if
what
we
happens to
keep
this?
it with 20, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So if we keep it with 20, then what your suggestion is coming up with a proration.
In other words, if I haven't stayed there a year, it goes down, I haven't
Right.
stayed there another, 10 years,
Okay.
some kind of proration.
I would take that into consideration because again, based off of feedback. So that's what we're doing now, based off of the feedback. Let me then look at what could be tailored.
Here's another situation. We all maybe remember a little too clearly in 2007, 8, 9, where we just watched the market go like this. We're up here right now. So now we're in a situation where someone's coming in, things happen, the economy changes, values drop far below maybe what this would be in. Someone has to move at this point. They've got no equity in their home. They have to sell. How do they, if these numbers have not adjusted, because it takes a while for these things to adjust, how do they, they gotta leave, gotta get another job, then move to another state, anything could happen. How are they then able to get out of their,
To answer your question, there is a mortgage portfolio department in HCD that handles different scenarios like that. And we will work something out with that individual, that has that circumstance. But as I mentioned, there's a lot of things that came out the woodwork, different scenarios that we will work to make sure that this is not going to be a lucid for the client and also preserve affordable housing. Because again, that's the number one thing that we're trying to achieve.
I just like to say I agree with the chair's comments and with Mike's comments and with Bobby's comments about long-term wealth, building long-term wealth. And I don't see what and there's another problem that occurred to me is the incentive to maintain the property. If you can't sell it for whatever you can get for it, if you have to sell it to a particular type of buyer. Thanks. I don't think that works.
No, well, I'm hoping that when you buy a property and you're a homeowner, you're gonna maintain your house. So, but I'm gonna say that, and if it's new construction, so I'm saying that, so, and then if they need assistance, then there goes, we'll provide them assistance, but what I'm trying to, the maintenance portion of it, I get it. They could be, yeah.
If it's locked into.
We can educate, there's people, just to Miss Cynthia, there's people who are locked into this that take care of their houses.
I'm sure.
It has incredible equity right now. I mean, I know 2 individuals who cashed out great off of $170,000 investment through infill phase 1. So it's not buggering people down. Certain people, the people that want to move from this house and invest in another one, then okay, that gets a little creative. No matter what, let's talk about this lien, this assistance that you got and the lien that is placed and how we can work to evolve that situation. But we still have to create affordable housing when it comes down to it. We are mandated through chapter 163 to report affordable housing. So the affordability part of it, we have to have a solution for that. So it's that covenant restriction that, of course, some people will be like, hey, take it. If I had 200 grand, I'll say take it too. For what, 30 grand you're giving me? But we have to have something that will stay after that buyer is gone if they decide to leave before that time. And it's making sure that that unit itself is affordable in that area. That's what a affordability period restriction is restricting the sale of that home to a market rate buyer during this time so it can remain affordable.
So what happens to the money that gets paid back conceivably after the CRA's closed down?
Oh, well, that's a good question. I'll go ask that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I haven't been.
It goes back into the CRA.
But it goes back into
Let's go back to the Pacific CRA, June.
Everything has to be sent.
That's the other snake with
Yeah.
it, okay? See, this is where I have. The most way to maintain affordable is run a rehab. Because they in the move, there'll be people coming and going, but the property will stay affordable. housing, you start getting into after them years run by, people bolting out, and you only deal with one single family home. You can't solve the housing problem in Florida, in Tampa with one single family home at a time.
Yeah, and this is what this is for single family.
All right, now next question, do y'all have anything for a multiple family?
That's where our infill.
You haven't got that yet?
No, we haven't. I'm still a down payment. I was gonna go through the process real quick.
Oh, well, go ahead, I'm sorry, we gotta get to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have a Jesus list that I heard that you have to get through. So I wanna make sure that I get through this and I'm available.
Yeah.
I have the same number, the same email.
Got it, July 26th.
And the July 25th
Yeah.
is.
Take our feedback. like,
Yeah.
that's so-
No, and I get it. I get the feedback. So,
Yeah.
okay, so this is the down payment assistance program process.
You can go.
Let's go through this. It started at HCA, I went through all closing set, and then we'll report out what we've done. These are the program limits, you can find them online, and I can send this, presentation to you guys after this meeting.
Presentations,
That's my fault, don't worry.
and put on the website.
Yeah, I'll put it on the website and I'll send it. So, from Affordable Housing Initiative, of course, I know you guys get this. Strategic land acquisition, acquire, and all CRE districts, that's what I'm doing currently. And then after we acquire the land, we'll start, that process of course, recommendation from CAC. If you see anything out there that the city, should acquire, but we'll then start the community outreach workshop, to collect information and feedback from the CAC and the community on the future of those acquired properties that we have in our possession. But again, we have to ensure that we buy land. So another affordable housing initiative is forming strategic partnerships, to increase attainable housing units, working with residential building owners within the urban core to identify opportunities to create attainable housing, working with different organizations within the districts to partner in developing affordable housing solutions. This is where we partner with CDCs, with any nonprofit developers that are within our community, see what we could leverage with each other to produce more attainable housing. Request for applications. So this will, based off of what we have in our budget, this is what covers the creation and preservation of units. So we can release a request for applications out for developers. They could be small developers, they could be large developers, whoever responds to then accept proposals for preservation or new construction of affordable rental housing. So in our budget, and I went over with Mr. with the budget, and projected FY numbers based off of what we have, and then we put it in, I'm not sure if you guys went over that, but we put it into like the 5 different areas, which is again, rental, housing, rehab and renovation, the down payment assistance, the infill development, strategic planning, and the creation and conversion, which is the RFA part of it, to just project what we could do with the monies for next year. And still, that August to October time that we should be knocking some rehabs out.
When we vote to put money in the housing fund, with done, we can't have any other, we're done. Once we put it in there, it's on y'all. And the same thing is true with this commercial grant. Once you put it in there, it ain't even coming back to the CACs for the commercial grant, if it's $150,000 and below. It's gonna be done by staff or so. Just be aware that when we're putting this money in, even though they're trying to mandate us to do it, it's almost like they're doing it, we ain't got no say so. Okay. So just be aware that we're sort of getting taken out of the loop here a little bit, as far as like, normally we say, we want this, doing this program, we do the budget. When this come up, next year's budget, it's gonna be these programs for commercial, these programs for housing. They ain't no more creative.
So,
Agree?
the last two, initiatives, infill development, so working with real estate and planning department to screen all CRA owned properties and identify best uses of those parcels. As a non-possession, 14 parcels, that will be the first CRA infill, RFP that I will be pushing out. I am currently meeting with planning so they can review those lots and let us know the best use of the lots. So when it goes out for bidders to respond, then they know, then they can create more units based off of what can fit on that lot. Hoping for, you know, more townhouses, blockbuses, being very creative with what they come back with, if it allows. And I don't know if you're gonna talk about, if it's on, about the spruce.
It's on the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then look at alternative forms of affordable housing development. We've been hearing this conversation for years about, how we can develop more than just a brick and mortar location or the regular sticks and bricks. ADUs is a big thing, for the east side, so that's where we're kind of looking at to start off. But we could look at, you know, the west side as well. They were talking about how we work out tiny homes with some of these irregular lots that the city has, modular housing, container homes. CDC of Tampa is actually doing 3D printing, printing out a house right there. And they're teaching people how to use that, so it's just creative ways of, affordable housing development. That's me. And,
That new time.
any questions? And I know this is hard to do. Let me start with this. Housing is very hard, to work out, especially because you have to please everyone. Not only do you have to please, you know, upcoming developers, existing residents that are rent, you know, property owners, but we have to do something for people who do not have a house. People that are not able to get
Let me
out.
just say this statistic. I'm sorry. West Tampa CRA has more affordable housing than any CRA district. Okay, that's a fact.
Okay.
West River. Okay. What's that one down there? They gonna knock it down. Boulevard. No, not Columbus Cove. Yeah, Columbus Cove, you got that too, but the other one. Oakhurst. So we have a lot of affordable housing. It may be not single family, but it's affordable house. Because HUD considers affordable housing by unit, not the single family. They call it units, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want that's a little different on the west side that we got. So that's why we was looking at this home ownership stuff. However, one thing that we more concerned about in property acquisition more so than for real estate, we passed a motion that we want to start looking at commercial, business, what you call it, Miss Sanchez?
Commercial district?
What do you think, commercial district? A commercial district acquisition,
Got it.
what we're more interested in, and we define the boundaries.
Okay.
So let it be known that, yeah, we want to get housing, we bought a house and sitting down, I'm gonna transition house or something else, but we're interested in trying to get our slum and bladder commercial sector viable.
Okay.
And we got people sitting here that's been trying to do it, so just be aware that we want a lot more. Go ahead, Ms. Sanchez.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Miss Jeanette, first, Ms. Sanchez, then Ms.
I'm gonna
Back over.
go revisit my point from before. I guess I'm trying to figure out operationally separate from the nuts and bolts of each program. So now both HCD and CRAs, the programs are the same.
ACD has different programs than us, but how we align initiatives with those two programs, support for homeowners and creation of preservation. I'll send you the presentation because HCD deals with homeless. HCD deals with emergency solutions. They have other grants and other processes. But as it relates to support for homeowners, which includes housing rehab, down payment assistance, infill, everything residential CRA is what we're teaming up with them. to administer.
So they have other programs.
Correct,
The programs that we have are the same as the programs they have.
correct.
So I'm trying to understand, it's just the funding source.
It's a funding source, but it's also, for example, the alignment of a hybrid position is similar to the arts cultural positions that we just filled. So it will be housed in Robin Nye's office, but it's funded by the CRA, so then it can work solely on CRA projects. So it's the same for me.
Your
I'm
house,
housed in the second floor HCD,
you're part of, okay.
part of the whole rehab group, the new construction group, the down payment assistance group. I'm part of the mix, but I only work with CRA projects. I use down to my pen is funded by CRA.
And how are we getting? How are we getting around, in other words, the CRA funding is not supposed to supplant city funding.
Right.
Are we getting around that by saying, well,
There's no legislation changed. We can directly spend money on housing, affordable housing.
no, I know that we can use CRA
But
funding.
supplementing is no longer there. You can get that change.
I-
See, what I mean,
But you're not supposed to be supplant, you're supposed to be,
It's not in there. It's to direct it, or it's
So
typically called out, yeah, affordable housing.
okay.
And we have
So
to,
you're,
You know, I know what you're talking about.
integrated,
It's kind
you're
of-
integrated with HCV.
yes,
Your salary, but you only work on CRA stuff as opposed to.
yes, as opposed
It
to
just
home
seems like a weird way to.
I know.
But they just supplemented me in there to just still work with the same housing folks and the same creatives, but it's all funded by the CRA. Like, for example, my presentations are a little different than them because I have to, come out to the CACs, I have to present at the board, I have a different level of expectation than HCV does.
All right, yes,
Any more questions?
Yes.
Ms. Maloney?
Quick one, what, is there any update on the status of ADUs and these alternative housing forms? How long are we gonna continue to look at them? When are we gonna be able to start building them?
I don't have a projected timeline, but that's a conversation that we have on a weekly basis, especially about ADUs. So right now, currently, I'm working, I don't know the holdup on their side. I can't speak for the other department. But, I know that what they're doing is, what I requested was a floor plan that will work, within a certain lots, couple of different lots, and how would that look like in our respective areas in consideration of the overlay requirements as well. So that's like what I've asked them to let's brainstorm this and give me at least some type of model that could be used to push out to the community for them, for us to move that forward. I believe in alternative forms of housing because I actually don't look at Florida housing. I look out of state for different housing solutions to bring it in and kind of adapt it. So I've seen shipping containers work perfectly in like Houston, Texas is really big with shipping containers. Yes, they don't have zoning, but they're really big with alternative forms of housing. So I was able to look at that in tri-state areas and kind of say, let's kind of make this work for the CRA. So it's a huge task, but we're tasked immediately to find solutions for housing as it relates to affordability to get people housed. And then a big thing is by expanding down payment assistance in different areas, now people within the CRA have more opportunity of latering their down payment to get into that house. So it's kind of fixing a problem to then move on to the next.
But it is finite though, because that money runs out. But if you fix the problem like the ADUs, allow for a modular design, correct things within the overlay, which
Yeah, that's another.
This Thursday.
need to be addressed,
Yes,
then it's possible.
yes,
But because then you're inviting the public to go in and do it, and you're inviting, private individuals
correct,
to invest their own money, which
Yes.
solves the city's problems.
Yes.
Then maybe you can create a grant that helps them and encourages them to do that.
Correct.
So,
yes, yes.
Yeah.
All right, last question, last round.
Last question, you've been going on and on.
You know what I'm saying?
I have a couple of comments. You said that the CRA only have 5 parcels that they have acquired, and all this time, my God, we gave them, Delphine and I gave them over 15 addresses, that properties for sale.
I just did a snapshot of 24, FY 24.
Okay, well, I was curious about that.
It was just FY 24 in short.
That was for West Tampa?
No, that was just overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying overall, we bought 1. So,
Actually, 2.
I'm the one house.
About Red's property.
Anyway, that was one of the things. I was also concerned, we're going on about 20 years, the CRAs are gonna end in 9 years. Who's gonna handle this after you're gone?
Wow.
Wow.
You want me going already?
No.
I can't,
I mean, you're gonna be able to turn this over to somebody that's gonna follow the guidelines from the CRA, even if the CRAs have been dissolved.
well,
ACD.
yeah, it'll revert back to the city, so it'll be under Housing and Community Development Division, the department's control. But, you know, I can't give you an answer of what happens. I know for right now, I have to write some policies, and I'm currently writing them to follow, to have people follow. And, hopefully, you know, that could be displayed on a greater level of people following that, what we've created here. But yeah, I can't answer that, like everything else that goes into the general.
I just put that out. The other thing is, I don't know if you're aware what's happening with,
Local, yeah.
okay? So far, everybody's been approved for those. The AMI that they're using for the affordable housing is 120 and above. There has to be some way that if we're going to loan money or help somebody buy something, that is for people that have a lower AMI, down at 180, 70, the ones who really need it, okay? Because that's such a farce, 240 apartments being built in south of Candy that are going to look, the AMI is 120, they're going to be 1,900 a month for a 1-bedroom. That's what that qualifies for. So there's got to be some way, if we're going to start lending money for anybody that's going to start building, that we need to look at that seriously. Otherwise, we're not accomplishing anything.
Yeah, so, when we look at different, like, for example, the RFA, request for applications, that we do have money that would be able to wrap up into a RFA and send out, we can't restrict the income on that. So, but right now, it goes up to 140% AMI across the board, just making it easier for, you know, everyone to have the opportunity of homeownership. I'll tell you, I make a decent wage, my husband does too, and I still have a part-time job. Things like that serious. I have 4 kids and a granddaughter. I just became a grandmother. My baby's 9 months, and I get it. So just trying to meet everyone where they're at. That's why my relationships with the counseling agencies and the community is important, because you're able to then give me a list of what I need. So if I'm telling you to pull 80%, let's see how we can work it. The lenders get into the mix to say, what can this person qualify based off of this? And then let's look at numbers. So that's where the partnership is very important. So make sure you get that.
And just one last thing, just for information, even though we have thousands of these in West Tampa, ADUs are illegal in West Tampa. We're the only community that has ADUs are illegal. If somebody
Is
does.
that a good thing or bad thing, Census?
Huh?
Is that a good thing or bad? Is that a good thing or bad thing?
I'm just saying we're
Because
promoting.
that overlay new Thursday.
I think that's it. I mean, I'll tell you, about 4 years ago, Charlie Miranda tried to put a committee together to take a look at the ADUs that were in Tampa, because they thought that they should be able to be collecting taxes for those, okay? He dissolved that because those people would have nowhere to go. And so the existing ADUs, that's what you have to look at, that there should be something to be able to at least inspect them for safety. Because some of the ADUs, some of them are Home Depot,
Sheds.
sheds.
So you say they're illegal, what do you mean?
That means you cannot go to the city and ask for a permit to build an ADU if you live in West Tampa.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that by cause of the overlay?
No, it's just been there, we had, the overlay had nothing to do with it.
So,
Just-
so there's another part of town that you can't go there. It ain't fair. And that's, okay. We're gonna
So
stop.
we're
Let's
talking
move on.
about that, because everyone was involved in that audit, so planning was heavily involved in that, so we'll talk again.
Anything else, Ms. Sanchez?
Thursday, there's a meeting.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
Anything else?
No,
Anyone else? Does anybody on this end? Okay, not, move to Mr. Roy.
I just want to remind everyone about the Thursday meeting that you mentioned, that is the overlay district, West Tampa overlay district.
Thursday.
And it's at the Julian Lane Center. You should all receive notice of that, and that you will be in front of the staff at the main development. So that's a good question to put up there. Yeah.
We think we, yeah, it's the time again. Okay, so if there's no other questions, thank you guys.
Good job. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, moving right along. Now let's get into the infamous list. The Haitian list. Anybody got any suggestions? So how do you want to start here? Any suggestions to move forward?
Most of them are already on the list.
So they are on the list, but what's the other list there?
We just go down the list, like the Delphina's parking, and we know that's on their list.
Okay.
That one check off, or, that's what I'm getting, to go by one.
Could you do that for next year?
Sure.
For God, because the thing on the.
Yeah.
See you.
I just ain't good enough.
All right, so you guys want to separate out your list, so we have them side by side?
So, Mr.
So you're gonna have your, the
This list?
Jesus list and then the new list. And we're just gonna go down the Jesus list and see if we can find it on the new list. And if we do, we move on to the next one. We're not gonna discuss the project themselves, we're just gonna see if they're on the list.
Exactly, it's a fact.
Okay.
All right, roll it.
All right, first one on Jesus list is the Salinas Park Improvement Design.
On there.
That is on the new list, so we check it. Next one, Ray Park Improvement Design. Number 2, check. Next page. Fremont Linear Park.
You might have any comment on that one?
Well, we're not gonna do updates, we're just gonna go through the list, and we'll come back and do updates.
My comment is about that
Oh,
particular,
okay.
that one is split into two. Number 4 and number 5 on your new list,
Gotcha.
it covers the Fremont Union Park.
Ah,
Okay, so then you know.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, next one, number 4 on Jason's list is the 2101 West Main Freedom Park. It is number 3 on the new list.
Okay.
Right, moving on. Number 5 on the Jesus list is the current West Main Street Area Cleanup Team.
That's a program.
That is a program. Do we have a program list?
No.
We do not. So let's mark it, and that it needs to be on a program.
It is, okay, so we
Sorry.
have this too. This is,
Program is?
so this is, well, two things. Okay, so there's three things. You got projects for Melissa. You've got grants, commercial grants, which are on this list. And the grants and the programs are handled under the same team. So there's programs. They don't have a separate program list, but I have updates. So I'll work on getting some lists for
You
you.
know what, it's here on this ranch list.
This is kind of separate, just a grants list. I think it's one.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not, it's a program.
Can you make something up for program?
I'm kind of color coded it actually, so we got,
We need
we'll
to
do a program up, yeah, let's keep it,
Market program.
program.
let's market program. That would be next year. Well, just say program. So let's, and
Can we keep the same format, but
You could, if you'd like.
the first category is the projects, the next heading is the programs, the
Well, you
next
got-
heading is the grants.
Well, I think what we're trying to, I think your intent is to try to take this and put it into the right team, right?
Right.
So there'll be reports from those.
Correct.
But
I mean-
Melissa's already done the project.
I can answer your question.
But I mean, in the
So
future,
to answer your question, it's pretty much the commercial grants team is managing the commercial grants and also the program. They're using a different software that I'm using for my projects.
but I mean, in terms of, just to keep things simple,
You're gonna have to.
you know, in other words, if we could use, rather than have, oh, this is a report from projects, this is a report from programs, this is a, if it could be, I mean, this is just a, Excel spreadsheet,
That's,
or some,
so what I'm saying is that the commercial team, that wants to do the grants, they're using a different software that I'm using. So I'm using Excel to do your program. They have a database that they use in Microsoft database to do their programming. So, you know, it's something we still pay for.
to waste time on that right now.
I hear it. You got Excel, we want to program this. Let's move on, Mr. Vice Chair.
We-
We want to program this.
Yeah.
Whichever,
Number six,
whoever got to do it, we want to program this.
number six on the clean team and ambassador program, I'm guessing that's a program as well.
All right, so 5 and 6,
Mark that.
identify program,
Like there, yep.
6 is the program.
Number 7 is the parking study, and I thought I saw one that is 9 in the new list, but we can check that out.
Okay.
That's a project.
That is a project. Next one is the potential Main Street Ultimate Design Project.
I have a question mark next to that. I don't know what that.
Isn't that the same as the motion that was made at the last meeting? Is planning involved in it?
Yeah,
But no, wait a minute. What was that project that we had South Florida and all of them come in and do,
That's
quarter?
That's a quick build, that's a.
No, not the quick deal. That's a piece. No, the one that, well, we were selected and they had it in South Tampa. It was commercial court or something.
so I found the Main Street Neighborhood Commercial Plan. This is what we're talking about here.
The one
But
that,
it is something that.
Right, you remember that, but they came, they did the quarter, we were selected to do the quarter,
This ties together a lot of this.
Yeah.
There's some phasing to it. So I definitely want to bring this back to y'all and work on this with you with planning. And it's actually, it started in 2021. And it's just gonna be sitting there. And I think what you're seeing on this list is some breakout of what, like, basically, like.
yes,
So-
I think this is talking about the overall thing,
because we.
Scales came off of this.
and this is part of that.
Right.
Yeah, 8 and 9 are connected, yeah.
So do we need to add this to projects? Like,
It'll eventually be on projects. We're
What is
working
it?
on an action plan. We need to take this and put it into some kind of implementation.
list.
When it goes to the.
It's go to be determined. Like this side.
I just want to make sure we don't lose track of all this.
So that is gonna be put on the project list.
So now number 6 on your.
Okay, it's already there, and then 8
It's the one that I'm gonna add to it.
to the project, all right.
Correct.
Mr. Vice Chair.
Alright, number 9 in Jesus' list is the Tampa Moves Quick Build Program, which is number
Number
6
6.
Right.
in the new list. Check. Right, number 10, we're almost halfway there.
Let's do that.
The, All West Tampa CRA alleyway cleaning, that is,
The program,
Program, I have an update in your rec.
okay, so let's just keep moving and then we'll come back to that. So that would be,
The rest of them are grants.
so next, so let's move on to the grant list. And down payment, actually, a lot of these grant programs got restructured, right?
So,
Yeah.
the list is housing, which you heard from B.
Yeah.
So it's on the housing team.
Yeah.
So I would call it housing program or project.
it's not a grant.
Yeah, it's
So the
part of the
housing
whole
program is
package.
not,
Alley program.
Right,
okay, housing program.
housing.
All right, so this is somewhere, just not on this list, right? This is part of the house.
This is the presentation.
Correct, correct, okay. Number 12, grant programs, these look residential exterior, vanilla shell, it's a mix of,
All of them been
But they're-
sold in the garbage can, now we got what you just said. You got commercial property grants, and you're gonna have a housing program.
Yes.
Okay? So
All
that's
right,
number seven.
13 then is alleyway project.
Number 8.
That's number 8. Okay, that's pretty good.
All right, we're more than halfway there. 14, urban progress aligned unity garden.
Okay, this was a grant, okay?
Yes.
This is what I understand, and, I have an update on it, but
But let's move on. We can check. Let's hope that they don't get me voted on.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead on.
Mr. Smith, museum improvements,
that's a
Doctor.
grant,
That's a grant?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, yep, yep.
Alright.
Yep. Roosevelt Des, that was a grant as well. Acquisition. Thanks.
10.
That's-
Alright, so we got it covered.
So 17, Jesus is number 10 on the main list.
Okay?
Acquisition, 1940. Yes, there's number 10. So I say it's there, number 10, there's no 11.
Yeah, I know. I realized I was looking at this list. Thank you.
All right.
Right doing the list.
Legal mural at 1609 North Albany Avenue.
Is that the one that goes with the wall with the Roosevelt there?
No, this is a different one.
And this was been withdrawn,
Yes, that one with the drawing. All right.
it was closed
18.
So let's, you know, it's no longer,
by the applicant, it was closed.
okay.
So,
Are we gonna just delete that completely since
Yeah,
they?
it's closed. So
if they want to come back, we'll go back to the grant purpose.
Okay.
All right, number 19, public art.
Okay,
This is the wrap, the underpass lighting, wayfinding signs.
so this is that hybrid position, and you're gonna be meeting this individual who took this.
This is the what now?
It's the hybrid position for public art. Right, so
That FTE mills.
Yeah.
You talking that piece, I saw you that was.
So this one here, 19, our PC for arts is gonna be coming next month.
Right.
And then he's gonna do kind of a presentation. I have a list of some of the requests. I thought I added this one, but I didn't in this one.
So, look, we have now a what now, the,
So there's a project, his name is Corey Robinson,
oh, really?
really.
yeah, new hire.
And he is going to be coming on for the July 23rd meeting, the meeting. He'll present the process. He's working the same thing as he's working with the housing department, but he's working under the arts director.
You see, underneath,
Yeah, but it's also, he reports to me.
and you as well.
Yeah.
But he's like, he is, okay. So that was,
He's working the process from the arts and then implementing the CRA process.
so then the artist sitting back there, they be on the 23rd, 40 rounds.
Okay,
Yes.
and then, so this,
I just asked that you share those PowerPoints with him that I sent you to.
I did, yeah, I did.
Okay,
and the bullets underneath 19, he's gotten those bullets so he could.
Yeah, and he was not, I'm sure.
We're creating that as a project.
Perfect. All right.
We created that project.
I'm sorry?
19 is the project.
Yeah, it's gonna be on the
all
project.
right,
They're gonna
all
start
right,
doing
okay,
a
so I'm
project.
gonna go,
Yeah, I'll
right
do the
here,
project list, yeah.
okay?
All right. 19 is gonna be.
Okay, what about 20?
20, public Wi-Fi.
It's no,
That should be everyone.
That could be a project, because we want Wi-Fi in like South Stevens and Ray Park.
So wouldn't that be a component of a project if it were to happen?
No, a separate project, because
It
it's
needs to be a
separate
separate
Wi-Fi.
project.
Well, I guess what she's saying is since we're redoing the park, can we include the Wi-Fi in the park?
Well, that's one of the first.
Once you go beyond the park.
Have y'all talked to TPD about this?
Well, we gotta talk to you about putting Wi-Fi on the farm.
Well, we're.
They came to one of my other meetings and they said there's a lot of issues with that.
Well, I don't believe that.
Can't we just put it on as a project? Sure. To be, we'll explain it. It's just a particular item.
So let me ask you something, before we throw it as a project, what's the intent of the Wi-Fi? Where are you guys gonna be installing it? And if this is something that the CR is gonna be paying monthly?
Yeah, we say everything
So
from
it's not a
cameras.
project.
That's not a project, and that's,
If it's a service that the CRA is gonna be providing for a Wi-Fi, it's not really a project, it's a program, because every month there's gonna be a fee and would have to be
Okay.
funding needs to be put into that.
Project to evaluate whether we need public Wi-Fi or not, and then it becomes a program.
No, because it's
first of all, it's an experiment.
Well, let me ask a basic question to the city staffers. Does the city have anywhere that they're providing public Wi-Fi?
They did during COVID.
No, this one, does the city have anywhere, city hall,
I
the
will
Hannah
tell you
building,
that
the
Centennial.
Hannah building don't have one done for the public?
That's in a public building and that's, Centennial
Public
Park
park,
has it, but
public
it's
stuff.
paid for by a private entity. The city has nothing to do with it.
No, what I'm saying, that the city provide Wi-Fi in public buildings. Any public building, you know.
The same library.
Mr. Chair, we take the recommendation, we're just having.
Yes.
Yeah, the police
I,
station.
I say we add it as a program and we can discuss this.
Right.
All right, so the program.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. 21 is other initiative. There's a list here of 5. First one is partnership for the Main Street Social Services with Matt Min. Are we doing that? That is a
That goes
program.
over to the homeless liaisons. That's not under CRA.
That doesn't fit.
I don't think that social services don't go under CRA.
Okay.
But I think there's a homeless, I got to update that I think the homeless liaison is really in.
And I think that came about when we
Because we had a lot
were
of-
trying to.
The tents on the street, on the
Yes.
sidewalk.
Yeah.
All right, the next one is the West Tampa CRA Business Response Team. We used to meet at Bay Canyon, but we have.
That was an informal,
Yeah,
impromptu kind of.
okay.
But it was also a community event. We had it so we could get the business community to come in and talk, give us their ideas.
Yes.
So it
Did it
been-
turn into the public safety?
No.
Since we don't want to
No.
let the community.
Okay.
So
It's more like a chamber type thing.
do we want to continue this or do we want to move on?
So we don't have to work.
I think it should come to be, it's a business, district. It should be something that's in there.
Yes.
So that's what you
Yes.
or is a good idea about.
The business district.
Economic development.
Okay,
The business
we'll
district. That-
put that in.
Right,
business.
in the business district.
All right,
Number, the business district one?
You mean the commercial, the one we talked about, the neighborhood commercial district?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
That, it's in projects under, again, this was kind of broken out into like the quick build and all these other phased, components of it. But I think we have it under projects, so it would be under the potential Main Street ultimate design project. It has to be number 8.
That's what we go to strike.
All right, so let me ask you on this list, are we just Xing these, are we putting them, maybe that component under something else? How does this-
We didn't bring it up and put it somewhere in that.
Okay, got it.
And have to do it that way. We can always bring something up that, my experience with this whole thing, it comes and it goes. Ms. Sanchez,
Ms. Grower, it has to do with the last motion we made at the last meeting when we decided on the business district and getting in touch with Steve Benson in the planning department.
Yes,
So
yes, and I'm gonna bring that whole conversation back to you guys.
We are, next to last is ongoing distribution list, CEC member of the community members of the have we fixed that? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're right.
The second person, you list that down, I'm gonna change that to 11.
okay,
Oh, yeah.
Expand 11 to 12.
okay. Mr. Vice Chair, go ahead.
Now we're with the distribution list, we're having some issues with distribution list, are we still having those same issues?
I don't know, I got 6
Is
minutes.
everybody getting the invites and the friends emails?
You get my
I got
email?
7.
All right, so, so,
this.
I got 7.
If you live in the West Tampa area.
It's only,
And I do not.
Oh,
That's why I
And that's
said,
why I contacted you to tell you because I'm at large and I did not get this, and I bet Mike didn't get it.
so, but I sent it to y'all also electronically.
I got it from 6 other people, but not, you know.
One tonight from me, and there's a box out.
there's a box.
last one,
Okay, one more.
staff assisting CRA communication staff with website content updates and
I
redesign.
think that's been resolved.
I believe so, yeah.
The website been resolved.
All right, that is the,
So is everybody satisfied now that we'll see this come back some kind of way, but thank you, we're gonna close this and move on. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, that was good, man. All right, that moves us back to the agenda. we're down to, Bobby, you have to leave, but if there's anything that we need to vote on, before Bobby leaves, that has a very, I think it's got a four, right? 1, 2, 3, we got.
Yeah, not total.
All right, there's something that you need to, notify us about, Bobby.
No, good.
Okay, thank you.
Happy to
All right, thank you. All right, that's it, yes, ma'am.
What are you going to add? I don't see it listed anywhere else, but I'd like to talk about this a little bit. Okay,
We're gonna, like, I can't hide the video with that, I'm getting no concern.
I just wanted to talk about this one a little bit. As we were sitting here, because I had already seen these presentation, I noticed that there are 4 items here. 2 of them add up to $7.7 million, and the other adds up to $4.2 million. Are those mistakes? Number 6, and I'm sorry, number 7, number 8, number 11, and number 13. Is that a typo, I hope?
I hope this is the grants team, and because I used to do grants, I'm thinking this is total project cost, and they didn't give you the grant cost.
It looks like the part.
So when we ask for grants, just so you know, people fill out paperwork, and they also
Yeah.
tell you, okay, I want $50,000, but I'm putting in this amount of money. We like to see that private too, we like to see that spread, because
And then one was the vanilla shell, the other was the facade. They're 2 different
and
grants.
these were
They're
missing.
for one person, and like I said, if we could get that corrected for the next time.
Well, it's not wrong, Sandy. What it is that the amount awarded is up here. It's just we're missing one of the columns that shows how much was awarded.
Yeah.
This is, folks are spending millions.
Good observation, please add the amount of the grant
The
that
grant.
we gave money. That's what we interested in. And also what the total is, but so what we actually gave.
Yeah, that's-
It's because we want to show the community how much money we put back into it. And
Well, that's all up top here.
So you have it.
Yeah, I know,
summarized
but
at
it
the
doesn't
top,
break
but
it
not-
down by project. We want it broke down by project.
It is, it's just cheap.
I know it is, but it ain't on this piece of paper.
I'll give it.
All right, see, we got to do that. I said, thank you. All right, is that the same thing? Anyone else on this piece of paper? If anyone else on this, if you might ready to get out of here? Okay, all right, this is, that brings us down to community development update with Brenda Floyd. And, we didn't skip, yeah, you have some things you want to update?
Yeah, you said you had something to, oh no, Brenda said she had something.
I just want to tell y'all about, and this
Well, what-
is program, never go first.
Yeah, go ahead, Ms. Martinez.
Do you guys have any questions on your project list? I mean, we put updates of what's going on with the project on every report and questions.
Go ahead, go ahead.
I did see a yellow for the Freedom Park.
Yes, because I keep it in yellow just because I'm having a long lead working with purchasing to get the soil replacement, renewal replacement RFP out. The last I heard was last week, but it's taking me like a couple of weeks every time I send an email to try to get an update. It's been about a couple of weeks to my emails send me an update. So that's why I keep it in yellow, because for me, until I get that RFP out, and I know that I have a contract, I'm gonna start moving soil and put the grass there. I'll keep it in yellow. That's the reason why.
Anything else, Mr. Johnson?
I think I saw, well, Brenda, this is one of the things you're gonna talk about?
Okay.
I got this in the mail and I just wanted to see how this was going. Are you guys getting feedback?
What did you got in the mail? Okay. Come on.
So the mailers were sent out, I guess, May 29th. And we're gonna go ahead and start kind of getting any of the feedback by.
Well, actually,
Okay.
they were actually mailed out last week, okay, so you should have gotten it maybe last week, we were off a little bit on the mailing, but it's just a tad. But it's going to be out to the end of July, okay, so you've got a nice 45-day window, much more than we originally anticipated. There are 2 things you can do, all the comments were incorporated, if y'all wanted Spanish, and let's find about adding the Spanish to the online version. If you get these and you do not speak English, there is a phone number right here at the very bottom this is how the city of Tampa handles all their communication. They don't put a flyer out that's bilingual, so it would be just too confusing. But if you do go to the QR code, you will get a longer survey. There's a few extra questions there that you can fill out. So you have that opportunity to do it. Or if you just want to say yes or no, you can do it here. And if you want to return it, there's some, you'll mention some folks that maybe live in the neighborhood, they just want to bring it over here. We've already received, I think, 4 in the little box in the front. Anytime we have, this building is open, Monday through Friday, except for, I think Friday is.
If somebody called me and says, well, I can't get over here, can I mail it somewhere?
You can mail it to me, it's not on.
I understand, but they know 23 Starham Avenue. That was the actually,
Yeah.
they actually put their mail it, because they.
Yes, they could mail it if they wanted to. If they can't, they can call me. My name, I put my name on here. My name's on here. I'll come get
And
it.
it's on the phone too,
You
right?
know, we have, this building is pretty much open every single day.
I understand, but they stay in Dover.
They're what? They're in Dover. Why did they get one of these?
Some people on property, we don't have to stay, some people in New York on property.
Well, if they're in Dover and they have a choice, they could go online and just take it there. And they don't have to worry.
I can take a picture of this whole thing and.
Yeah.
You don't take a picture, just.
All right, I'm just, let's move on, let's.
Yeah, that's all I have.
All right.
I just
Now,
wasn't.
back to, go ahead, Mr. Williams. Oh, it's Ms. Wick, oh, Ms. Mahoney.
Well, I just wondered if there was more feedback on what, like more information about this issue. We've talked about it a little bit at some of our meetings, but do you have data that would support one or the other? You
That's
know,
what we're doing. This is what the survey's
That's
about.
what we got.
no, you're getting people's opinions, but people are not informed necessarily about what the results of closing the streets were versus what it would be to open it, what the environmental impact would be, what the cost is to open the street, reopen the streets. These are all things that people should know before they decide, you know, I think we should do this, don't you think? I mean,
Well, I mean, first of all, you have to start with an intent. Is there an intent to do this? This is, by the way, the historic grid was not that street closure. West Tampa was not built with that street closure, right?
Right.
Historically, it's open.
Open.
And actually, Mr. Robinson's the only one that ever told me was the reason, because he kind of remembers or lived through it. And, so, you know, right now, it is there. We've heard complaints. There's been complaints that come through the police. There's been complaints coming through, council people about, you know, why are these streets closed? The neighborhood's changing. So we've heard it today from the police. So you have to start with intent. From there, you're exactly right. Then we will pursue. We will pursue, what is the cost of this? Is this doable? You know, we had to get mobility to agree to it, police and fire and everybody. So we'll see what the survey says. And what the survey says, we'll come back and we'll talk about it more and how we're gonna move forward to make it a real project.
And just to add a little bit more, the intent is not to get rid of the park. The intent is just to open up the streets.
right,
So we will still have a park. We will have probably do raise crosswalks to slow people down.
Right.
It'll be well planned out. We'll have the professional folks take care of it. We're gonna have a park, we're gonna have the trees,
Correct.
but we just want to be able to have access and bring that around. That's the intent. That's the intent.
And y'all will decide.
That was the intent that we've been discussing.
Well, there's 2 lines for this project, that one is just to open, one of the projects will be to open the street, the other one is actually to do the renovations on the park. Correct. Still there, the property is there.
The intent is.
But it's just depending on how.
The schools around it use it. I mean, I'm saying, and that, I'm those.
I get rid of the 3 month.
The intent has always been to keep the park, but it's whether we're cleaning the streets or not.
No, we're gonna open street and keep.
Keep them separate.
Yes. Okay. Unless it,
No, that's what's wrong.
all right, let's go on. Mrs. Throy, you were finished, and then Ms. Martinez was gonna finish up first, she said. She was gonna finish, is we done? That was what I said, any more questions? All right, we done, thank you. Mr. Throy.
Program update, you mentioned that, the All West Tampa CRA alley cleaning and clearing. Okay, there was an invitation for bed, the RFP went out, it wasn't recorded.
Right.
It's called Emerald Facility
Can
Management.
you use the?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm giving.
getting old, you know.
Sorry. I was thinking my voice was so loud. Okay, so all West Tampa Sierra alleyway cleaning and clearing project, okay? That went out to bid, that's under the programs team. And that project was awarded to a company, they're named Emerald Facility Management. And they will be starting in about a week to start cleaning alleys. This is the project that is coming through, I think they're starting in the north and they're moving south. It's for 2 cleanings a year. The company really wanted to start before hurricane season, to get in here and try to get a lot of the debris out, and then they'll come back again.
Stop.
So,
I missed one, people. But I know how y'all took that past me when we was doing Jesus list. When she said hurricane, but trees up here on how y'all spent y'all spent that past me now. Y'all missed me, but can they do that too?
they are doing alleys.
Okay, that was a project that we had on that list.
And I know the alleys.
And right now, you could go look at where they just opened up Madison, all of the pontoons are laying in the street right now. Cause the wind knocked them down. When a hurricane come, all them things gonna be everywhere. And they all raggedy, they running into wires, they own buildings, and that needs to be added to the list, man. I'm sorry. Y'all got me.
Now, that's gonna be programs or projects?
That is a project, they have the trees trimmed.
Okay, that's
I
good.
think it may be.
I think it's a program.
Melissa and I was talking about where.
What, y'all? Program, project,
Think about, you asked me to change the name, the title of projects, because it's infrastructure, construction, vertical, that's what the project list is gonna be.
well, alleyway, what's the alleyway, is that a project, is that?
That was it.
It's trimming on the street, it'd be a program.
It's a program.
It's similar to the alleys.
Again, twice. per
I know,
year.
but we may wanna go get another person to trim them trees, because here's the issue, I'm not gonna say no on it.
Okay.
Because they look raggedy, they are a nuisance, okay? And they ain't been trimmed in decades, okay? And if you trim the trees, the hurricane style, I said diamond cut, everyone had diamond cut, here we in hurricane season, and they out there, they fall off, get down into the drainage system and all this. So that needs to be a program, if we have to come up with some additional funds to try to trim. The problem was, it's not in the city right away. The county owns Howard, so it was supposed to be a combination of talking to the county, they might come and trim them if we asked them. Or we said if they would come and do it, then we would put the money up, but they need to be trimmed. That is a main thoroughfare and it looks terrible with them looking like that.
So I think the first time that we talked about this, I talked with Andrea about it, and I think she had mentioned, she sent me a document and contact person, she had contacted the county, and they said that as long as you have, keep the guidelines of the county for the landscaping, that they didn't care who did the project, because they were not gonna.
With them, so we need to move forward as a program. Even if we need to ask them people, can they cut them and get a price, even though they done bid to do the alleys, I think that they should be contacted to provide that service.
They're there.
I got that noted.
You got me?
On that-
Y'all got me on that, y'all, that's it, that's
line.
Yeah.
There have been 2 or 3 presentations in the last few weeks from, I can't think of his name, sustainability. They have like 10,000 trees. No, plant them. It seems to me that we should be able to work something out with them, remove the ugly trees, put in new trees, since they're trying to find places to put trees. And they said, well, the county does something different, the cities, at Parks and Recreation, they have no place to put trees. Immediately, they got at least 10 emails of communities letting them know where they can put trees. So we should do the same thing, contact, I can't wish I could think of his name. Okay, good, everybody.
In the meantime, those trees have an immediate requirement to be trimmed.
But it would also be nice if they were.
I understand, but it's gonna be easier to get them trees trimmed than it's gonna be to get new ones out there. That's gonna take too long because the county's involved. Those trees need to be trimmed because of the safety issue.
You might get new trees sooner.
No, I think
All right, I will
so.
get with the programs team on this one and come up with.
Get those trees down and cut.
Like a boulevard, if the trees are all the same.
And then we got a pedestrian walking light all the way up the studio. So, and we got new street, new surfacing. Those trees make us look raggedy. Take that coons, possums, burn them, and they're growing all over buildings, all out of place. It just doesn't look good. maximum all down cut coming down at night, next street we pay. It's high appeal, it's small and black, look, anyway, I'm done talking, y'all got me now, but let's move on. This is, thorough.
That's all I have.
That's all you know. Unfinished business.
Wait, what about the community
Uh,
redevelopment department update?
Well,
I thought that was you just gave.
No, that-
That wasn't what she gave.
that
Okay,
was, well, no, it was kind of, I guess I'm gonna create a program for during.
all right, go ahead.
Well, I don't really have much other than what y'all probably have read on the news. We do not have, our direct our administrator, Nicole Travis, is her last day is July first. Nicole, Elise Dronko, his last day is July first, and Eric Moody, her last day is July 12th.
Oh.
So
Didn't she just start?
about a year ago. So we have a lot of changes going on at the top. So we have no comments. We really don't know.
Active. You gonna be the active?
Who's like, well, we're here. We're here with you guys doing our work. We're gonna, things go on. As we know.
Okay, it's nothing that's gonna stop that I'm aware of, but they'll be gone.
Chair,
Yes, Mrs. Fenton.
thank you. I don't still know where our recommendation, our motion went about staffing issue. I know
It
it
went to Miss Moody, that's what you
I
said.
know it went to Miss Moody, but it wasn't, it was intended for the mayor and the CRA board. We have not been notified if it was run up that chain. And now Miss Moody is leaving, so I do not want this to fall through the cracks. I would like if the chair, and I'll be willing to make a motion, if the chair is willing to do this.
Stop anybody in here, they don't.
No, but I want to, because I want to make sure, because the motion involves you, so I want to make sure what I am suggesting is that the chair write an email to the mayor and to each individual CRA board member reiterating our motion and asking for their response. Because it has not, I don't think it has been brought up to that chain of command.
If you give me the, after that, I'll send it.
And we have a motion, we have the language.
Oh,
If you don't mind, you can comment about it, because I've heard you saying several times that we need more staff for the CRA. And honestly, right now, I'm learning the past 2 years that I've been with the CRA, how long, it's not really, you can give me 5 PCs, project coordinators for all the projects that we have, and we're still gonna have a 6-month need for an RFP to go through contract administration. We are bound by the other procedure department. So even if we have a lot of staff, the lead time are not gonna change. Because,
No, I
because our,
Yeah.
because it goes with the other departments that we work with.
I
I
understand.
just wanna make sure that.
Yes, believe me,
No,
I understand. But the point is, you gotta have people to even initiate and keep working it through the process. Like we have, for instance, we had 11 projects on that list. I wish we had 22 or 33 projects on that list. And yes, they're gonna have lead time. I understand that. And see, I love that we have a full-time person for arts and culture. That does nothing but West Tampa arts and culture. I would like to see additional staffing to do nothing but project management because, again, 4 FTE, and I'm getting this from, thank you, Mr. Robinson, 4 FTE to do project management against 8 or 9 if you want CRAs, that's 0.5 per CRA. That's not enough. That's not enough for West Tampa, not enough for anybody else.
I think what would help me talking about projects, what would help me is having actually CRA staff on those departments. If I have somebody.
That's what we have to do, and that's,
For the CRA,
I
someone in
have-
contract administration to do just
I
CRA
have thought
projects.
about that too, that maybe the way to get the cap
Yeah.
is not by, it's by funding our own people in other departments, and that's, I just want to move projects.
Yes.
This is the same issue that we run into, and why going way back and talking about the overlay and some of the challenges of getting these grants out is, we recommended having an ombudsman just to help the private sector. And so you guys, I say you guys, we as a CRA are having the same difficulties because they're not staffed properly at the city level. And so you're running into the same roadblocks and dealing with the same thing. And, you know,
Look, we're down to director, assistant director, Miss Moody, and the lady just told us she down 2 people. Miss B. That's right now.
And I will say, in the absence of a director, in my experience in the leadership study, they're not gonna hire anybody until they get that person in place.
No. All right, back to you.
I still want our motion elevated to the mayor and to the CRA board, and I would like it done via a letter or an email from our chair, and I will make that as a motion.
Is there a second to the motion? Second. Is there any discussion to the motion? The only thing I want to add is that I'll have Ms. Brewer give you the motion. You know, just give me that motion, like my caption, and I'll say it any way you want.
And we just want him to know
And I'll also say to Mr. Bennett.
that we can find whoever you think appropriate in the jail.
Okay, all right, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. For email will be sent by the chair to the mayor and other city council, CRA,
Yes,
and also Mr. Bennett, chief staff.
thank you. And
Yes,
Mr.
thank you.
Chair, and if I have another.
Go ahead.
Because this is the first time I'm seeing this,
Let's not give it to you.
updated org chart. And I see now a business operations / administration thing on this org chart. I don't know what that's supposed to be.
That came out of the commercial grant program policy.
Business operations / administration, 3 FTE. What is it?
For the administrative assistants, and there are 3 of them, I believe those are the 3.
Oh, these are 3 admin assistants?
Correct, there's one admin, for the director, and then there's 2 for helping the grants and for the projects, 2.
Okay, so
those
those
are
are the,
administrative.
like the paraprofessional or whatever.
They
Okay.
just do, we do purchase order requests, they'll go ahead and process that.
Yeah, okay, so that's what they're not the, okay, and, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Ma'am?
I'm,
I'm looking at, but I do that, because
thank,
we gotta talk about St. Joseph.
oh,
Okay, anything else, Ms. Fenton?
no, thank you.
Okay, anything else, Mrs. Thrower? Okay, then we can move on to unfinished business. Unfinished business, Mr. Thrower. Is there any unfinished business, Mrs. Sanchez, Mrs. Young? Huh?
That's unfinished process.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of business, it's a work in progress. Okay, okay, so no unfinished business, new business, Mrs. Sanchez.
Yes, we get this every, it's our, who's here and who's present, who's present. We did it at every meeting.
Yes.
So I happened to be looking at it, and what caught my eye was that Jeanette was rotating off on 2024. And I thought that maybe but remember that she'd only been back about a year. So I thought that was wrong. So I looked at it and I was wondering what happened to him, has he resigned? And then I asked her a question. If 3 of these people, including Tina, are supposed to rotate off in 2024, what happens to those that have listed in 2025? Do you mind playing? I need your answer. Okay. Is he concerned to discuss the CAC member terms and what year each will roll off the CAC? Terms are based on the physical year, October 1st to September 30th. From what I know, he knows the fiscal year term expiration for each CAC member. Yellow highlighted members, which I had for Jeanette, Keene, and Tina, would rotate December 30th, 2024. And the remainder, which are 8 of us, will rotate off September 30th, 2025. So it kind of caught my attention that next year we would be losing 8 people.
Not necessarily.
Well, they should be nice enough to send me the criteria for only 2 terms. So I thought I would bring that up because I understand that some of us, not me, others had different understanding what I was trying to do because I'm trying to back away from some of my responsibilities. The reason I asked is because I was trying to make some decisions for myself. But when I saw that and I got her answer, I thought I'd bring it to your attention.
Yeah, I thought they got attention to that, but that's sort of change the policy. And eventually all of us are gonna be gone. But then I asked, is it retroactive? And he got a straight answer. I said, well, when does it start? Because we're already wrongly moving because the policy has to be changed because it's got an error on it. Right, Mrs. Flora? The policy, the adopted policy of the CRA Advisory Committee has an error on it for the West Tampa number of people that are supposed to be on the committee. It says 12, we're supposed to have 13.
have 12 and 2 were.
Right. Because when we added the additional at-large people, it didn't get caught that it had an error in it. And I have an email that I want you to share with the committee from Maris Massey when I asked this question a week ago. Right? Because what I did is I went and looked at everybody. I looked at, is your corporation that you represent that? Is your corporation, still, filing your annual reports? It was found that there's certain people sitting there, annual report has administrative been dissolved. So the question became, how can you still be on here if your corporation is administrative dissolved? And Mr. Massey says you still stay on here until such time that the board removes you. The CRA board removes you. So if your term is expired and you ain't appointed and the board ain't removed, you still sitting on there. Listen to me. So would you please? I think it was just sent to me and you, was it not? But
I don't
since
know if I got a copy of that, but I will tell you. And
if you don't, I will send it to you and I'm gonna send y'all.
Send it to me and I'll distribute it.
Because my concern was people that have that were, we're ex officios. Ex officios come from representing a group. And then this new policy says after so many years, you can't be on here. You have to rotate off and somebody else from your group comes on, or else your group then will be off for a year or so and then it can come back. You never get the group off. It's just that your representative won't be there unless you switch up and get somebody different. Because I'm gonna be in that list. But I have not got a straight answer when this policy was retroactive. Is it retroactive or when do you start the clock ticking? And the story ain't gonna be said. That's gonna have to be Morris Massey come with a lead opinion, because I'm known to challenge stuff. Just like this policy that we got is erroneous. It does not have the full committee members here. It's missing the housing authority representative, which would make us 13, not 12, right, Mrs. Thorpe?
Yeah, they're listed on.
They're listed, but it says 12 and it should be 13, right?
You have one extra at large. This is a 2 of them.
The bottom line is, not no double talking store, the policy is wrong. It needs to go to the board and be corrected. But they don't want to do that, okay? That's what's going on. It's an error. Now I'm gonna tape and on video record it. It's an error. It needs to go back to the board and correct it, okay? So your good observation. I already going down that because Vince, I mean, I'm doing this so long, even Vince didn't get rid of me, but once I leave, they gotta go do some of these programs for stolen property, just straight up tell it. So the bottom line is that that's the issue, because we're gonna have Mr. I'm the, I can't know his name, from the housing.
David
authority.
Ilawanya.
When he goes to, whenever they get his application, because he's got it, he's gonna turn it in and he's gonna get to the salary board and then go this month. Maybe it might be there next month, and he's gonna show up, and he's gonna have a seat over here at this table.
So what I would, okay.
All right, Mrs. Tim.
Thank you for bringing it up, because I was gonna bring it up directly with Brenda. Because I would like, forgive me that I don't recall exactly. I want to know the date of my original appointment. We're supposed to have, be allowed two-year terms. I don't think I've been on here 4 years.
You haven't been on there 2 years.
Well, here's the problem.
No, two-year terms.
Here's the problem.
4
okay?
years.
But you haven't finished your first 2 year. According to when I remember that you got here, you're still in your first.
Here's the problem.
But that's what I want to know, because I've never been reappointed. That's my second term, so why am I rotating?
If you're 2 years, you're allowed another 2
The
years.
person that filed, they first tried to get rid of me, and I told the policy that ain't gonna work, it ain't fair.
I don't think that
Alright,
was.
so they changed the policy.
Yeah.
Alright, when they did this so-called consolidation, and they gonna shut, people like me, make sure we get off there, ex officio, they'll get us off, okay, that's the whole idea, to get us off. But you gotta understand, this whole thing on sunset in 20 years, and that's why we need to have additional people pushing in projects and programs, because we have millions, 30 million right now ain't been spent. I guarantee you, look at our money for West Tampa is about 30 million. We're getting averaging that, us seeing them selling stuff, we're probably gonna have 10 million next year in income. In 20 years of that, add the numbers up. We have to push this money out there. Sitting around here waiting on rate call, waiting on these trees on the thing to be trimmed is nonsense. That's why in there's $100,000 line item to hire somebody we wanna hire to get them to do what we wanna do. Y'all remember that in there? The consultant we can hire? So just be aware, because I'm gonna be probably, they're gonna try to get me out, but my question has always been legal to Nancy. So if you don't have the email, which I know you got, I will find the email, send to you, and all y'all can see what I asked him about. Actually, it was related to Mr. Bailey, because the corporation, his public record, had administrative involved, and they just said, well, just tell him that he needs to get an update. Well,
The other thing,
it
Tara,
ain't been updated, okay? I believe in full transparency on this issue. And also, it was stated legally that in order to update the policy, the board recommends it. And then I said, well, do they still serve, even though the corporation that their ex officio has the administrators are? Yes, they do. You serve until such time, quote unquote, in this email, the board removes you.
How does that apply to those of us that are at law?
It doesn't matter. You're an appointed person and unappointed people, your term expires. There's a date your term expires. It's on there. Everybody got a date, a month. They got a month in a year that you expire. And then you reapply if you can, depending on which way you interpret this latest new policy they got. Okay, with all of this consolidation, came this new policy for CACs. Because they were trying to get rid of people like myself. That's fine. Okay, so what the thing is my question was, when is it active? When is it active? When does the tolling occur? Legally? Ain't got no answer. Okay, well, we'll get an answer, because now that the government opened up, you got an email that I started asking about this stuff, and then we're gonna get an answer. And whatever it is, it is. And everybody in the whole CRA advisory committees are gonna be held to the same tolling number. Everybody. Because that's a policy for all CACs. And I don't believe in keeping no secret here and no secret there. Okay? I believe in full transparency, ain't got nothing to hide. So that will get straight. So if y'all just let me get that to her, read that, and then next month, y'all can make your mind up where we wanna go, get the legal department, tell them that tell the board they need, I do the board, tell the board they need to update the policy just to get us straight. Because our information is wrong in the policy. Because what happened was we brought the 3 at large in, and they didn't think, oh, well, they had the housing authority, because it was a good thing they had housing authority to the committee, because they got a lot of work they're doing in West Texas area. And so that was done, and they done the same thing over in, I think, East Tampa. They added the housing authority on some of these advisory committees. So that's what I know about it. I didn't want to say nothing, but eventually something had to be said. And so y'all done brought it up, cat out the bag. So I'll send you what I got, and then next month, we'll make a decision. Next Ms. Keenan.
Okay, I have 2 questions. One, who is the Greater West Tampa Community Council? And number 2, how long do we hold these positions available for these 2 organizations who, for whatever reason, does not have a representative?
That's what's, they are forever. They are permanently, these ex-official organizations, nonprofits, and nonprofits and others, are on there permanently until such time the salary board says they ain't no longer on it. We can't get rid of them, the city attorney can't get rid of them, nobody can get rid of them but the salary boards. Nobody can add them but the salary board, not us, not the man, nobody. Salary board. This is the way Max explained it. I said, well, it means a person, organization can be dissolved, he said, until such time that the board say you ain't on it, you ain't on it.
So how does the attendance policy affect?
Well, basically what they are, if you read the new policy, you can go into limbo. So they're sort of like in limbo. In other words, say that you didn't have anybody you could reappoint to your, the ex officio. It says in the policy exactly what's gonna happen. You go into limbo and you have to wait a year before you can even come back and meet with somebody. So they're like in limbo. Walter Smith, I believe, is the greater West Tampa community, because what happened was, he was another corporation. This happened and I got that resolved. I think when you were the chair, we talked about it, Mr. Vice Chair. When you were the chair, Walter's organization administrative resolved, it was too much money to catch it up with the state. So they started a new one. The new one then went to the CRA board. The board said we will replace, get rid of the one that he had, and then allow the new one to take that place. That's how that got on there. Just, you know, I keep up with this stuff. So right now, that's, the housing authority is coming. And I think Walter just decided this, because, you know, he may just be doing that, but his, that's gonna be on him. But he may be done because he has a major project that he's got coming up with special requests. And I don't think he wants to conflict of interest, in my opinion. I don't know what, but I would think because he's.
Actually, there's an opinion on that. He can't apply for special projects if he's on this.
Exactly, okay, so I'm giving full transparency, okay? So that's why I think he just decided to back off. But they need to come back after trying to get approved, get back off, okay? So, but he can come back, or somebody from that corporation can be the ex officio representative. Okay,
Clarity.
yes.
Okay, so just based off the statement you just said, none of the organizations that sat on this board or committee can apply for any dollars that come through this year.
Special.
Not a special
Not
project.
a special project.
The reason being is because you guys bet it. And special projects will come before you. The other group.
They go through the program.
The programs,
You don't go,
they're administrative.
right,
So you can apply if you have a residential rehab, you could do that, you go to that team, you do, that project's not coming back for you.
But if you recuse yourself,
Right.
No, absolutely.
you can't do that.
Sit on this board.
That's why they doing what they doing, like I told you about the commercial grant. It don't, $150,000 unless it's over that, once we get it, that's what I'm saying, once you put money in a particular program or grant, it's out of our hands. So just be cautious of that. But that was a good discussion, anything else I want to know about that? That's the stickler with me, the policy.
Just one other thing.
Yes.
You missed 3 meetings. You
From
missed
that.
3 meetings, more than, actually 3, if you missed more than 3 meetings in a calendar year, by 12 months, then you're automatically removed.
This is some
Anyone,
sense,
if anyone has that condition, or maybe someone here that has it, that is in the policy. There is another part of the policy that says that you're an ex officio member and you go unfilled for a while, if you revert to a large seat. Okay, so, but by that, but Chair Watson said, this policy will be updated. And I really welcome this feedback to, like you mentioned, let's correct the number of people that should be serving on this CAC. Any other recommendations y'all have? When that comes up, and it should probably, you'll have an opportunity.
We got an in-house board, but you out of town. So you get on the Zoom meeting. That's obviously soon. In fact, I don't know when we're gonna start putting on YouTube. October.
They're already, yeah, they're going on now, actually.
I have not found West Tampa Salary Advisory Committee YouTube meeting yet.
They're in the process of the adapt.
That's it, they're not-
Make sure I leave that link.
They're not on there right now. As I said, I religiously check all kinds of stuff like that. So it ain't on there. It's well known to say stuff like that. But what I'm saying is that my question is that I believe if we have an in-house, because when we had COVID thing, we had that in-house. If you have an in-house and then you participate in, virtual, I don't think that's gonna count as an absence.
No, that is actually counted as being.
Right, so there's ways to get around stuff, but if you just stand up, man, say, hey, I'm here, Joe, and then you leave, that meet the criteria. You was there, and then you got off in 2 minutes. See, this is what I'm trying to tell you. All these people they don't tell you all this. And my thing is, I know, I always challenge the city and all kind of stuff. And this one here, I know eventually gonna get y'all, but I didn't want to say nothing, because it's personal. You know, there's people in here, we're all friends, we're all volunteers. So with that said, Mr. Thrower, I will send y'all, Ms. Thrower, the email that Ms. Thrower did, and I know you got it. And then I want that distributed to all advisory committee members. And that'll be a start. That's what I was asking about one of the people that had a ex officio corporation that expired. That used to say stuff like that.
So does that mean Mr. Benson can come back?
He ain't never had me.
But he may not be aware. You know, when you get.
But I asked questions.
Information.
I know, but see, that's why I got a written opinion from the city attorney.
Well, but I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that, but some people, you know,
Oh, I don't know. Maybe-
somebody tells somebody something,
Yeah.
they believe it and they don't question it or
I'm
challenge.
not questioning anything, but I understand that.
Right.
I need to let know that he will get, if he got an active email on file, he's gonna get his email with this letter I got, this email from,
I'm actually calling for 7 years.
I don't get any return emails from y'all.
all right, move right along. Is there any more comment on that, Ms. King? I think you,
No.
any more comment? All right. Moving on down, announcements. I got announcements here. 1310 West Grace Street, 34-inch Laurel Oak is gonna be Pittsfield. At 1310 West State Street, southeast corner property, rock scene, Brett Kaiser. Is that down to Mrs. Thorne? Another application, not a tree, disappearing. Here's another application, having drain tree removal, another 28 and 30 is live on east side at 2334 St. Louis Street. Bayside Works LLC. Another application for having tree removal at 3126 West Pell Miller Street. 26 and 37 and 26, 70, 35-inch Laurel Oak. And the applicant is Victor Nobody. A application for design exception at 2206 North Amelia Avenue. Ralph Schuler, JDD Architects. At 2401 North Howard is the applicant, and it's for the address of 2206. Design exception request of DE1. DE1.
10 things.
Hmm?
Could be 10 things.
Right, but it's at 2206, which has got to be its next block up. Cause this is 2300 block. Yeah, on the main, 23 or 2206 North on the main. And I got 2 notices on that. I'm on that 2, but pass that down to Mr. Floyd. Other than that, those are the only announcements. The only announcement is that I will be attending this. I got a lot Thursday, but I'm gonna make this. And I'm gonna go home because I got an 8 o'clock California that we do, but I'm gonna be over there at early 6 p.m. to 8:30 at the Tampa River Center at 402 Laurel Street with a so-called overlay. And I guess the question from the night was why ABU is not allowed in West Hampton, can the overlay business allowed? I think that's what I heard.
Consider that.
Huh?
So they don't have an answer.
Well, that's my comment. Okay, yes, sir. Mr.
Also, this Thursday, at the regular Tampa City Council meeting, they're gonna be discussing the West Tampa River Walk. So, I will be there for the public comment too.
Are they still letting you be the embedded person?
Yes.
Okay, I
I
got,
haven't heard much, but I heard something this morning.
okay, I just got an email. From, and I was wondering why they give me an email when I know you are designated.
The first day?
No, it's not from Vic, it's from, it's a Molly Bell Burnett. Yeah, right. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know who it is. I got no idea who this is.
She's a city, she's like, she's on your community,
She said she worked with the graduate.
Got it 6
And
times.
she said she wanted to speak to me about the city, the community, the city of Tampa about the river walk. I don't know what she want. I told her the best way to get it on the cell phone. And I believe when I was getting ready to get there, that's why I was running almost 2 minutes late getting there. She called. I said, well, I can't speak to you now. I got to get the meeting. And so she said she may call me later after this meeting, or she can call me in the morning or something. So I don't know what she wants. I don't know what she's talking to me about the river walk, but I know you in charge of that.
Yep, I'll be there, but if anybody else wants to go.
Okay, what is it? Do you know what they're gonna be talking about?
I think they're
Cause
trying
they
to
don't have
get,
enough money, but I heard.
I think they're trying to get it approved, so they can move forward.
Cause they gotta get that, they're gonna get the federal police moving.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, I'm sorry, Janine.
I just. Maribel has called a number of people, and is there any sense that this is not gonna be approved? I mean, is there, like, in other words, is there a subtle way of saying, y'all need to come because this is in trouble and we need to support it, or?
Well, I would say this, there are some people that would support it, and they're not for it, because they just tired of a lot of money being spent on the west side. There's some city council people who don't think anything need to be spent on this. Okay, and a lot of people, some people, city council people feel that this is started out being 19 million, now it's 60 million, or whatever it is, and they're upset with that. I do know that. And so there will be some discussion as to why we're doing this. There's better things we could do.
So should we perhaps empower our chair to go to the meeting and speak on?
No, because our vice chair is already empowered. And been
You're
empowered.
going to speak in support of it
Yeah.
on behalf of the CAC?
Because he's,
I'm,
explaining to him.
I am the liaison, so any kind of meeting that they're, you have a coordination, I will attend. I was going to attend as a West Tampa citizen, but I wanted to bring it up to let you all know in case you want to say something on behalf of the city.
All right, is there a motion?
I move that we ask our vice chair to speak on in support of the project on behalf of the West Tampa CAC.
Is there a second?
Okay, I'll second.
A second by Mr. Marlon, motion by Mr. Flynn. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passed. You did power.
Thank you.
Okay, that's how fast we move on the west side. Anything else as far as announcements, going once? Twice? Oh, by the way, we do have a new business up there. It's a cool, we'll see how long they last, called Madison Novo.
Yeah.
Okay, Novo, what North Howard, and they South Howard, so I don't know how long they're gonna last. Okay, but, they up there, so good, very good. Other than that, anything else we need to know? Mr. Vice Chair?
I just don't like the word no-ho.
Well, I know. If not, then we'll be meeting, we don't get into your conflicts till next year, I think, the spring.
Okay.
And by that time, anything happen. So with that said, just remember the key.
Yeah.
Just get to us,
Okay.
make that attempt. And, but our next meeting will be the 23rd. If that switcheroo, Mrs. Owen, according to the schedule, that's not one of the non-Tuesdays, right?
It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday, so it's still.
But it's a different,
It's a fourth Tuesday, but it was in your original one I put out to y'all. And so most of them are on third except for you. This is one of them.
But the 23rd is the
It's a
correct date.
Tuesday. Yes, it's the correct date, and it's been advertised, it should be on all those calendars, and it's been.
All right,
Okay.
if nothing else, let's adjourn. Get out, reasonable time. All right, here go my votes right here. I'm casting all over you.
If you want to, you should just pop them in way out.
They got a box.
There's a box, yes, I have a.